If you don't have a man, you ain't nothing.
Good women are dead. Evil bitches, rise up!
Aspiring to be patriarchs like what white men have, that isn't freedom. That isn't going to help anybody. It's certainly not going to help black people.
How dare you say that we are not interested in families in the black community?
Rick at that.
Are we in love yet? Are we in love? I got caught in a conversation. I really couldn't track it down which episode it happened on. It was too many weeks and too many episodes ago, but I'm pretty sure it happened on DJ Witch Doctor's channel. It might have happened on Drip Nation. But I do have something from Drip Nation I'm going to pull up to review for you guys. But I got caught up in this conversation, I think, on Witch Doctors about a relationship built on love versus a relationship that's built on mutual need. I believe in one, all working together. You hear him singing. What is the relationship model that is most effective? I was told by the lovely Miss Chanel from Chanel's Reality. You know, I added her in the title because I was having this conversation with her in particular. I like this track. We're gonna run this back. I was having this conversation with Chanel, and she attempted to convince me.
Hey, Rick at that.
Foolish as it is, she tried, but she attempted to convince me that the relationship based on pure romantic love is somehow superior and more desirable than a relationship built on mutual need. And I had to explain to her that although why I would understand as a woman, you love to live in the intangible. You know, love to a woman is it's an extremely intangible concept to the woman. And I also explained to her that as the man, building a lifelong partnership based on something as tentative and fleeting as a woman's emotional state, because there's not a lot of doubt in the man's mind whether or not his love will somehow fade or just turn on a dime one day. But for the man, you're asking him to bet it all on a woman's heart. And I would argue, when we're talking about modern love, modern relationships, the whole dynamic, modern men have realized that I cannot afford to bet it all on a woman's heart. Even if I love her, even if I'm absolutely, positively, rock solid sure that she loves me, I cannot bet it all on her heart. Have you seen the inside of a woman's heart? Chaos, bro. The lines go everywhere. It's like a spaghetti monster in there, bro. I remember there used to be a song back in the day, back in the great pop music day. I think it was Lisa. I wonder if I take you home, will you tell me you love me?
Rick at that.
Because I need you tonight. I wonder if women, or in that instance, that woman in that song was conflating love with lust and calling it a need. This is why when women use the word love, as men, we have to be very, very careful. When she says love, she isn't thinking, she's not imagining the things that come to your mind when you say love. Yeah, I like that. I like that. That is mug worthy. That is Valentine sweater worthy. Women's love is emotional lust. Get that in a big red sweater and write that in nice cursive letters. A woman's love is emotional lust. And again, as a man, attempting to convince me that I am somehow safe, I should be willing to bet it all on what is effectively her emotional lust, that my future, my legacy, my peace, my sanity, my children, my self-respect, my social standing in the world, I have to bet all of these things on a woman's love. And the fact of the matter is, the concept of marriage and family, it was never built on this Victorian notion of romantic love. Yearning. It wasn't built on yearning. No, none of that. None of that. I believe in one, all working together. Now, this graphic that I put up a minute ago about a woman's childbearing years being stolen by an ex-boyfriend. This is how a lot of modern women feel. Either they've wasted away their childbearing years with multiple men, or they try to lock down that one guy, and for whatever reason, it just didn't work. And so they feel as though they've had their childbearing years stolen. And in the comments where that image was posted on X, somebody put a meme up as a clapback, me and my ex's childbearing years, just devoured it. It's delicious too. Oh, the joys of Chad. Oh, to be a Chad.
This all started with an article by someone writing into the Telegraph to talk about a really common problem amongst millennial women reaching their mid-30s, approaching 40, expecting to by now have children and looking around and not having a faithful, committed partner. She'd wasted 10 years on a man expecting that they would have children together, and at the last minute, 34 years old, he breaks up with her, and there she is having to start the process all over again. Now, should we have tax for people who break up with their girlfriends? Of course not. That's ridiculous. But I do think there is a great solution to this.
Now, modern women have begun to float the idea of a bachelor tax again. And I kind of predicted this coming because as the gender wars intensify and neither side wants to budge, women do have the nuclear option of government intervention. And women, God love them. What did we learn yesterday? Women are amazing, but they ruin everything. Women almost always go nuclear. If a woman has the nuclear option, she's going to go nuclear. And so this is basically how women are responding to the modern dating situation where you hit your mid-30s and beyond, and suddenly there's no relationship there to carry you forward into the latter years of your life. Of course, the government has to do something about that. This is why they want to have a bachelor tax.
Instance it's affecting so many millennial women. We could have a contractual legal arrangement at the start of a relationship, especially one that's sexual, that says that men and women will commit to each other and stay monogamous and parent any children that come of that relationship. And we could even celebrate it with a party at the start of it. We could call it marriage. And I think, this problem that has become so prevalent has been a sad consequence of the decline of marriage. And it speaks to us about something that we should be promoting in society.
Now, back to this issue of need versus want, or love, rather. Need versus love. A relationship built on mutual need versus a relationship built on romantic love. Carmen, yesterday we were talking about, squishy things like men's feelings and whatnot. And Carmen in the chat, she said something about men wanting to be loved. And then the men, we all immediately shifted to, love for men is respect. It's a term that we can kind of understand a lot more than love, the way she was using it. And I would argue that wrapped up in this idea of men need to be respected, I think ultimately men need to be needed. And this is a very intimate, maybe personal realization. Well, not even an intimate realization, but it's an intimate situation for a man. It's a very personal thing for a man. You hit maybe points in your life where I have to learn how to do something. I have to become a part of something. I have to move ahead. And that requires me to become more than what I am because people depend on me or whatever. And I don't know that women understand that intimate side of what men are. Yeah, yes, Carmen. Hashtag vulnerable conservative. I'm blaming it on you, by the way. I'm blaming all of this vulnerability crap on you. Got me all emotional. Got me on my shit. Anyway, men need to be needed. And in the modern world, men are very much not needed. Like your job needs you. Maybe your dog needs you. Or if you're a cat person, cats never need you. That's the weird thing about cats. But maybe your softball team needs you, your fantasy hockey league needs you. But in the place where it matters the most, which is the family unit, the life of a woman, within the life of a woman, men are just not really needed. And I gotta tell you, it kind of does sting a little bit when you think about it in the grand context of it all. I want to share a conversation with you I had just a couple of days ago. Shout out to the Drip Nation. I think this is Chocolate Earth and I. We were having a conversation. It got a bit awkward, but you know me. I always make it awkward with the women.
profiling and styling. I see you up here with the where your shirt at today? I got a shirt.
I got
but
on
you
this
ain't got a
shirt. It just got some thin straps.
I'm covering my shoulders. They like shoulders.
No Adam.
I mean, he honest. At least he honest about it. We know because some men have stuck themselves inside of some things that I would just be like, for real.
Ah,
for real.
This what we
don't
doing?
touch me. Don't touch me. Nigga, you trying to give me the cooties. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't.
Chuck, you think that a woman can raise a man?
Yes. Yes, I can. Yes, I do.
The question on the table that night. Well, and really quickly, shout out to True Hype with the $2. Hood about to start playing Carl Thomas. So emotional, I can't let go. I'm trying to hold on to you.
If you don't have a man, you ain't nothing.
Shout out to Carl Thomas, y'all.
Hood. You think that women can raise men?
Yes. Yes.
Generally speaking, it doesn't go well. It's not that they absolutely cannot. Hold on, let me finish the whole thought. It's not that they absolutely cannot. It's just not the best setup for the man you want.
But I was answering the questions. Hood service. How you doing?
How you doing? Well, she literally put it to me though. You missed it. She said my name, didn't she?
I asked both. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Sharp.
Oh, I didn't hear you. See, that's why I was like, was I answering?
I don't want to fight you, baby. I like you. I don't want beef. I don't want beef. No mas. White flag.
Here to fight.
Let it be known, I came in like a puppy dog. You know, I wagging my tail, blinking my big puppy dog eyes. I don't want smoke. You know, life is hard enough. I got job. I got bills to pay. I got kids to be responsible to. I don't want this problem with you.
Y'all think everybody want to? I don't want to fight with y'all. Shit, I use my energy for good. Anyway, listen. So, like I said, I do believe that we've put so much earnest on these roles that we've decided that men and women are supposed to have. If you raise a child, boy or girl, the focus is to raise a sustainable, viable human being overall. They just happen to be men, they happen to be girls. Now, the cultural side of that, it depends on your household. And we know this. It's just like the old adage. Like, if I ask, I'm going to ask you, Shanika, was you ever called fast when you was growing up?
No, not when I was little, because, my mama had a tight leash.
Exactly.
Leash.
My mother did not play. She did not play. There was no, oh, you got a boyfriend. Oh, here go. You could bring him over. That
but
didn't
that's
happen.
a woman. Not to interrupt, but I'm saying that's a woman-on-woman relationship. We talking
but wait,
about
I hadn't even
and a woman. All right.
To get to it anyway, I got off phrase. I was talking to Shanika, but my bad. Back to the I watched my mother do it.
You know how girls get. Sometimes they get distracted and be talking about butterflies and puppies and shit.
Mm-hmm.
I watched my mother do it. So yes, it's anecdotal, and I don't know what numbers you guys are on. I'm just saying that I have seen women raise wonderful men, and they, to this day, they still good men. Like, if whatever that determination is anymore, because if you ask somebody what that looks like, it's not usually described in a way that, like, yeah, you know how to go get a job. You know how to get a place. You know how to get a car. If you go to college, you understand all of those life things.
Now, right now, as Black American culture, Western culture really, but Black American culture, we're way, way deeper into the pit than white culture is. We are living with peak female parenting, right? Full female parenting, meaning never in American history have we had this many women alone raising children, boys and girls alike. And all I'm arguing is that for as much belief that Miss Earth here has in the idea of a woman raising a man in particular, I think it has to be noted that while we are currently living through this experiment of women raising men, boys and girls alone, the boys and girls who are the products of that experiment, we don't like each other right now. Right now, the men and the women who are a part of the biggest exercise in single motherhood, we do not like each other right now. I think you have to take note of these two things. Uda on the go. Is that you? Were we on Drip Nation's show the other night? I remember that name Uda, but I never got to look at like your graphics or nothing, so I can't tell. Is that you? We were not Drip Nation. We were on DJ Witch Doctors the other night. They were getting on you about the baby oil thing. I get it, bro. I get it. Content is hard to do. Comedy sometimes go left. But anyway.
However, you don't have the social awareness to be in a relationship with someone. And that's not anybody's fault. It's just that we don't focus on that when it comes to it. So by the time we become adults, we have a hard time with understanding one another. I think we awkward. You know what I mean? That's why I think. But and I think it's because, again, it goes back to these roles that we want to put people in. I don't see why a man can raise a daughter. We've seen that many times.
No, we actually can't.
What?
Yeah. And I forget bro's name right now who was on the panel with us yesterday. I mean, on this episode here. But he stepped in right away and said, no, we absolutely can't. And it's not an issue of whether or not you could or couldn't do it if like your partner or your spouse died in a plane crash or something. Like if your wife's accidentally tripped and fell into a volcano, like could you raise your daughter alone? It's not even a point of could, it's just you have to now, right? But as men, we do not relish the idea of parenting alone. And I don't think that you really see that from men the way you see it from women. Almost in a point of rebellion, women are gung-ho about raising children alone. And so you don't really hear that from the men. And I think it's kind of telling, and this is what I meant about, like, it is kind of shocking when you hear it put plainly. Like, she doesn't get what she's saying, but she's telling you there is no room for you ultimately. I want you here, but you don't belong here.
And you know what bothers me about this? You know, there's something that's is deeply bothering my soul here.
There's proof.
It's bothering mine too, but I'm allowing her to, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm so bothered. Let me. Can I tell you why? And this is not even like you said anything wrong or bad, but I don't. And this is what I mean when we actually get to talking as men and women. The women don't really understand how it crushes us as men to hear you describe the reality as you experience it, right? It's crushing. Because what you're just saying, what are we for then? You don't need us for money. You don't need us for food, for shelter. You don't need us to raise the boys. You don't need us to raise your girl. What do you need? It's like we don't really matter in your world, but somehow you want us there.
What are men for? If you ever listen to women talk about what men are for, it's basically some slavery type of thing, you know. It's some type of slavery arrangement where you also get like a little bit of coochie on the side every now and then. But that's kind of how women describe what are men for. But I think that ultimately hinges on the problem. I don't think women really understand, nor do they appreciate what men are for. And to be fair, they don't really have to. That is what is like the ultimate one shot about this whole conversation. No matter how much you plead, no matter how much game you got, no matter how sexy flexy your body is, they just don't have to do a goddamn thing. Whereas once upon a time, they had myriad pressures compelling them to do a certain type of thing, which was to be a wife and a mother. The whole inflation is killing us all, bro. I tell you.
Ooh.
Listen to yourself. Listen to yourself. What is it that we're for? You don't even need us to raise our own fucking sons.
That's
like, what is it we're for?
She asked me a question.
But that's kind of the problem. If you think you can do it, you can do it on your own, if you automatically gung ho.
What was my mother supposed to do?
I'm not attacking your mom. Let me not. It's not about your mom. It's not. But you're bringing up your mom and your dad. You're bringing up your mom and your dad.
Now, I noticed immediately, and you know, this woman stuff. You have to learn to deal with this if you're gonna talk to girls. But she immediately attacks me with her emotions, right? And this is, again, women don't see themselves this way, but this is what you do as a tactic to avoid the moment you're in. You will stab me with your feelings. Your hurt feelings now become a weapon that you use to control the moment and have the conversation that you'd rather have, as opposed to the conversation that I just led you into. Stop shooting at me with your feelings.
I don't want to fight you about that. It's not about that.
We can't hear both of y'all.
Okay, so let's remove the personal from it. And so we're just speaking in general with regards to just men and women and children in general.
But that's
what when you say.
Go ahead.
When you say so with such gumption and such belief, and then it's like you can't be told wrong. When you say it like you don't need men to raise the boys. All I hear is there's really no place for me in your world.
It's a different conversation. And I think that it should be had if men are feeling this way. If men are feeling this way, then that's what y'all should say. But no one has said you don't need a man to raise.
What do you think men have been saying for like the last 20 years online, before there was even a proper manosphere? What do you think men have been saying? All of a sudden, and you know, this is very typical. Oh my, I had no idea you were so miserable and unhappy. What do you mean? You weren't looking at my face every day? You couldn't tell? That's crazy.
Raise a child. I never let those words come out my mouth. She asked me, do you think a woman can raise a man or raise a boy? And I said, yes. And I also said that a man can raise a daughter. There are these things are happening. I don't understand what you took from what I just said and they turned it into this thing like I'm trying to attack me, and I don't appreciate that because
I didn't say you were trying to attack me.
No, exactly. Just like I didn't say that you don't need a man in the house to raise a child. I've never said that.
Chocolate. What I first said was, you as women, I don't think you hear how crushing your words sound to us as men.
Crushing words? What did I
explain? Chocolate, I'm trying to explain it to you. I'm not trying to fight you. I'm really trying to explain to you how I'm hurt by something. How did I start something? I'm trying to explain to you my feelings about a thing. Can I be open? Can I be vulnerable?
And you know what's so funny? And having women use their emotions as weapons to attack me, I've learned to now weaponize emotional language to counterattack women. You got to counterattack. You got to stab them with their own knife. You got to shoot her with her own gun, bro. You can't just let her weaponize emotional language against you and then you don't use emotional language right back. What do you mean? I have feelings. I am a human being, all right? I have a soul. If you prick me, do I not bleed? Oh my God, what are you talking about here? This is how you got to do it, though. This is how you got to do it. Sometimes you got to lower yourself slightly to get down to where they really, really like to hang at, and then you got to kick them right in the titties, bro. That's how you do that shit. Right in the tits, bro.
to raise a child. I've never said that.
Chocolate. What I first said was, you as women, I don't think you hear how crushing your words sound to us as
What
men.
crushing words? What did
I
I
explain,
say?
Chocolate. I'm trying to explain it to you. It's not. I'm not trying to fight you. I'm really trying to explain to you how
Started
I'm
it,
hurt by
right?
something. How did I start
Let
something?
him.
I'm trying to explain to you my feelings about a thing. Can I be
Hold on,
open? Can I be vulnerable?
we're gonna let him talk uninterrupted. So because I do want to hear what you have to say and how you feel about it. So we're
I
gonna
do
let you
too,
have
but
the floor.
I hope it's genuine with that.
I'm all muted up and shit. She don't want to. She don't want to hear me. She think, oh, I'm playing. She don't want to hear my feelings. She trying to avoid my feelings. You don't want me to weaponize my feelings. Let me be vulnerable. Can I smack you around with my vulnerability? Let me beat you up a little bit with this vulnerability. Let me hit you with some of my emotions. You see how they don't want to, they don't want you to have emotions. And this is kind of a weird thing. This is not even a black thing. This is just a man thing across the board. The only acceptable male emotions are joy and anger. Now, you can just be neutral and have a regular business space, stoic, as they call it. But generally speaking, the only two emotions that people want to accept from a man are his joy and his anger. And not that they'll accept your anger, but it's understandable because men are, masculine, manly. But you're not supposed to have complex feelings and thoughts that go deeper than the skin, right? You're not supposed to be more than skin deep. Eat, sleep, fight, bust. That is what you are. That is all you are. And that is what I want from you. Eat, sleep, fight, bust. Anything outside of that makes people uncomfortable. Makes the girls uncomfortable. But we're people too. I hate to tell you that, but we are people.
I'm not trying to attack you. All I'm saying is, like, as
Well,
women,
it
when
felt
we have,
that way. I just want you
I
to know
get
it
that.
felt that way.
I get that, and I'm trying to speak to that feeling because it's not with the feeling I want to encourage, right? This is not my intent, but I have feel. You realize men are people with feelings as well. So as I can inadvertently hurt your feelings, you can do the same for me. And what I'm saying is, as women, you don't hear how your words sound to us as men. And so when I tell you that, when you're so like willing to just say that, not even willing, but when women in general have this strong belief that they can just do it all on their own, as men, what we hear is there's really no place for us in your world. And then when we probe and we challenge you about it, the women get defensive and they stand their ground on that, and you don't realize you're actually drawing a line and pushing us away on that other side of the line. And it's like, well, if you're going to fight me so hard on you being able to do everything on your own, like, come on, am I supposed to fight you to help you?
I'm not going to fight you to help you. That's really where we are. I'm not going to fight you to help you. And then here's the killer, though. You don't necessarily need my help, and you don't really see it that way anyway. Because the relationships don't really start out needy. Because as men, we want to be needed, like I said earlier. But here's the kicker. Here is the kicker. We want to be needed, but we don't want to be needed by the needy. We are supposed to build the mutual need with each other. We grow to need each other. We grow inseparable, right? When two become one, as they say, right? And what men don't really want, and this is where the modern relationship dynamic is really cooked, because we just had like this little food stamp crisis thing, and you know the jokes about the hey big head text and all that. The idea of you know, women somehow coming back to the proverbial table. They still talking about a table out there? Is the table still a thing? But men have got to a point where we're comfortable now not needing women around so much, and accepting not being needed as well. And so now women find themselves in a position where they say they need men. You know, I want a man back. I want a man to do this. I want a man to do that. But the men aren't biting. The men are starting to now look at it as, well, it's a trap, basically. There's no other way to look at it. There's no other way. There's no sugarcoating it, right? Men look at women now pretending to acknowledge needing a man, and it just looks like a trap. And so now you're going to have even more women who want to go to the government and say, well, you have to do this and you have to do that. Have to pay for this. You have to make the men pay extra taxes, right? Bachelor taxes and all that, right? I want to share something from there's this channel. You know, I told you about the new style of manosphere content where they just rip videos right off of TikTok, and then they just basically do a compilation of a bunch of TikTok videos, and they give you a little bit of commentary in between. There's a channel called More to Life. Really great at that. And they covered Kevin Samuels is right. Winter is finally here.
I found out while I'm on vacation in Mauritius. I just got laid off, and I found out while I'm on vacation in Mauritius. I just talked to my family, and I'm not going to lie, they were not helpful.
All three of those jobs combined, I am not touching $60,000.
If they're going to lay off 30,000 employees.
Constantly living in survival mode is exhausting.
I'm about to take a and I don't know when the next slice of paper toilet.
You're basically stuck. Boy, y'all wait until 2026. So many damn, hey, Big Heat.
Mind you, I was depending on that donation to be able to pay my rent.
I'm tired of living in survival mode. Where does it end?
Talking about it.
Men need to be needed, but we refuse to be needed by the needy. It is a diabolical trap. I know, it really is. But that is the state of play we are in. There is no glory. There is nothing noble in being needed by the needy.
$60,000 a year. Not even with 3 jobs. I have a full-time job, a part-time job, and a contract job, and I do not make $60,000 a year. All 3 of those jobs combined, I am not touching $60,000 a year. When you put that into perspective of what the cost of living is like, that is why I have 3 jobs and I'm still struggling. I can pay my bills on time, but can I do much other than that? No. I think someone told me to hustle. If I have 3 jobs, doesn't that mean I'm hustling? Or maybe I'm mistaken. Do you think that I'm afraid?
Hustling backwards, though. You hustling, but you hustling backwards, though. Nice weave, though. That's like Barbie blonde right there. It's beautiful weave.
Of working, I'm not lazy. So I don't like that. I don't like those comments. That rubs me the wrong way.
I honestly don't think my nervous system can take being an entrepreneur right now. Like, I need my nervous system to be regulated. I am a wreck, and entrepreneurship does not help. Like, I'm so tired.
You know, it's ironic. She's obviously single. an entrepreneur, and she needs her nervous system regulated. She needs her nervous system regulated.
If you don't have a man, you ain't nothing.
What zero dick does to a bitch.
Of being in survival mode. When they talk about entrepreneurship is the ultimate survival mode. You're in survival mode. You eat what you kill, whatever, and for many, many years, I've thrived like that. I mean, that is my personality. That is who I am. But I just feel like being self-aware is so important, because with everything that I've been through within these last couple of years, it's been so taxing. And by the grace of God, he's carried me through, and I'm blessed, and I really do appreciate it, but my nervous system has never truly stabilized, and continually having to produce and be creative.
Her nervous system is never stable, because she's constantly in grind mode. She constantly has to do. She constantly has to work, constantly has to think, has to be on guard. And she ain't got no man. What zero dick does to a bitch. This shit needs to be studied by professionals. I'm just a guy driving a truck. You need somebody with a sharper mind than me to study this. This is an amazing thing to watch, though.
And show up, fully and all this stuff. I just don't have it in me. Like, I'm still healing. I'm still going through a lot. And in other seasons I've been able to push through, because that's what entrepreneurship is about. But sometimes you just have to be honest with yourself and say, listen, I need my nervous system to be regulated, and I just need more. What
was that? Hold on. Whoa.
Nervous system to
what
be
was that
regulated.
about? What was that? What is that hand gesture? What was that about? What were you rubbing on right there?
You have to be honest with yourself and say, listen, I need my nervous system to be regulated.
You need your what?
Listen, I need my nervous system to be regulated.
She needs hands on her body. Look, she not even bad looking or nothing. I take it. On looks alone, I'll take it down. She not even a bad looking chick or nothing. And she could clearly use the attention.
If you don't have a man, you ain't nothing.
I'm just saying, it's got to be hard out here. All red bone with light eyes and shit. You don't be having hands all over your body. She discombobulated. That's what's going on. She is literally discombobulated, bro. I will combobulate her if she needed me, I would combobulate her. I would totally recombobulate her. She is completely discombobulated, and I could combobulate her real quick, no problem.
And I just need more stability.
What it is, you're not following your natural calling. But you have to become masculine. Every time you're being productive, you're becoming masculine.
Like this, but
let me play the next video. We're gonna get into that.
I literally never make videos like this, but I was just sitting here after I got out the shower, and I was just thinking, like, man, I am tired. Like, I'm so tired. I'm like mentally, physically drained.
You need a man too? I'm hearing that a lot lately.
Constantly living in survival mode is exhausting. It's exhausting. It's mentally exhausting. And it's like, I have faith. I have faith in God. I know things will get better. I pray all the time. But even with that, like, it's hard.
Oh, I know your problem. You be going to the wrong church. You need to visit the Church of Misogyny. That's where you need to come to. You'll get your mind right. I promise you. You won't even be feeling all discombobulated no more.
Get it again. Okay, I'm gonna say it again. I come in the name of Jesus. Repeat it after me, bitch. I come in the name of Jesus by the power of the Holy Spirit.
Nah, I could not with this one, bro. Not with this one. I can't go with this one, bro. I'm gonna have to pray on it. I can't, bro. I'm just gonna have to pray on that one. I cannot go. I cannot go. She is not for me.
It's so hard. Being a mom, taking care of 2 kids by myself, whose father is incarcerated, it's like, it's so hard.
You see that? Father is incarcerated, 2 kids. No. You got to get combobulated somewhere else, lady. We don't do that.
Trying to do that. I'm always forgetting something because it's just like this is always so much stuff on my mind. Like, I literally feel like suffocated.
Yo, you know, it's so funny. American Man tells me don't be a colorist. You know, they didn't appreciate my colorism story. When I was having the colorism conversation over there with DJ Witch Doctor, and it's a true story. It's a true story because I'm like, y'all got to stop acting like dark-skinned girls don't be getting love, right? Because the first girl that I ever lived with, because, you know, I moved into her crib because, you know, I was hustling and I was fucking her, and that's just how that shit works. I needed a place to stay. She was right around the corner from the strip. But she was dark-skinned, and she wasn't even all that cute either. But I fucked with her. I kept it a buck with her. I ain't even, you know, I ain't treat her bad or nothing. I took her out and shit. And they up there acting like dark-skinned girls don't get no love. I'm like, please, you gotta check my resume. All right? Dark-skinned, black and ugly as ever, all right? Respectability. Don't hit me with that colorism shit. I put the work in, all right? I spun the block with that bitch. Don't you dare talk to me about no colorism. I don't want to hear colorism from none of these hoes unless y'all black as that one chick I showed you earlier. You guys to be midnight black for me to even entertain your colorism argument. This chick right here, that's American black. You have to be an imported shade of black for me to even care about your colorism argument. I am not.
I know it's hard to explain, but I know it's people out there who understand, who are going through the same thing. Like, it's draining. And then to be doing all of that and being
Mr. Brown, that's type of shit that gets you blocked out of here, bro. I don't know where you're going with that.
Just barely be getting by. It's so discouraging. And the price of everything is going up. It just doesn't make any sense, and people wonder why so many people are so angry, they're so depressed, they're so sad. And it's like majority of everybody is constantly struggling, not knowing when they're going to have their next meal, not knowing if they're going to be able to afford the things that they need in order to survive, in order to have a decent quality of life. People can't afford to take care of themselves, to take care of their families. People can't just enjoy living because the price of everything is so expensive.
Decades after I Don't Need No Man, they're still not ready to break. I hope you guys aren't looking at this thinking anything is different. Things are not going to change. There is no table. There will be no great return. They're not going to bang on your door in the dead of winter. This is not what's happening here. Didn't want you guys to get your hopes up. I could have sworn I smelled hope coming out the chat. I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but I swear to God, for a minute there, I smelled the whiff of hope coming out the chat room. And I'm like, no, kill that noise right now. No hope.
You need people like me so you can point your fucking fingers and say, that's the bad guy.
Fuck you. You're all pricks.
I had a client today, which is probably really why it was like sitting on my heart to make this video. I had a client.
Sugar Bum, nobody in this chat is going to save you. You're still pregnant with Imperius's chat room baby. Don't come over here with that. You and Imperius got to work on your Michael Jackson Drake baby. Coming over here. You see what I mean? This entire segment is about women claiming to be needy, and men, we don't want to be needed by the needy. That's what this whole segment is about. Women pretending to be needy all of a sudden, and men are like, nah, that's not how I want to be needed. When I said need me, I didn't mean like that. Not that type of need. You're doing it wrong.
Client today who said that she really booked with me, of course, one, because she liked my work, but because she saw me posting about my story, she saw my GoFundMe, and she could relate. You know, she was a mom in a similar situation as me, and she just explained how, you know, God got her through. I feel like God constantly sends me clients who I can relate to, or who relate to me, or who give me words of wisdom. And it's like I didn't grow up with any type of like
She's talking about the sisterhood, y'all. Older women who have money and they feel bad for her situation, they understand her struggle, they be giving her extra money and encouragement. You got this, girl. Strong and independent, girl. Don't need no man, girl. Here, take this extra $5. Remember how grandma used to give you a little extra $5 on the side? You hush now. You hush now. Go and take this, girl.
Guidance or anything like that. Like I literally went through life. I literally went through life learning through trial and error. But God has sent me some amazing clients who have really helped me with just their words, more than they probably would ever know. And I just know that what I'm dealing with right now,
woman, man,
heavy financially for a lot.
Feminism.
2025 has been heavy financially for a lot of people. Groceries going up, gas, rent, mortgage, everything almost seems impossible to pay these days. Families are making real life hard choices every day, whether to pay the light bill, the gas bill. Sometimes the bill has to go without being paid because they have to buy food. Parents hiding their stress so the kids don't feel the weight of everything. But we all know behind closed doors, them tears falling. I mean, the mental toll that it takes on parents, like, it's a lot, y'all. Most people are battling with anxiety, staying up late at night, trying to make sure they have enough to survive to make it to the next pay.
Now, she keeps saying parents, but she's mostly talking about women. Because most of the parents are women.
The truth is, life is tough for a lot of people right now. Wages haven't caught up with the cost of living at all. But if anything, y'all, struggling in 2025 does not mean that you are failing. It means that you are human, having a hard moment, and this too shall pass. Never be ashamed of what you're going through, who you are.
See, shout out to Carmen in the chat. You know, this is what trusting the plan looks like, all right? At first, when you asserted your needed but not by needy theory, I was like, huh, now I understand what you mean. Exactly. Men need to be needed, but not by the needy. No, that's a trap. That's a trap.
Keep going. Do what you can do and never feel bad for what you can't. All right? Keep pushing.
And the reason I'm showing this is because I'm sure there are a lot of you ladies out there that are looking for a way, right? And this is my account right here.
Done. Now I see why I'm not doing this no more. Like I'm done. I'm so done. Now I see why these women out here like living good. What a nigga paying their bills? Like, where are they? Living life in peace, because I'm not doing this no more. Like, the car insurance going up, I'm paying rent, I gotta buy food, I gotta take care of everything. I'm not doing this anymore. Now I see why people stay in relationships and they're miserable. At least the
It's like watching a baby bird spread its wings for the first time. She's starting to learn. Now I see why people stay in relationships.
because I'm not doing this no more. Like, the car insurance going up, I'm paying rent, I gotta buy food, I gotta take care of everything. I'm not doing this anymore. Now I see why people stay in relationships and they're miserable. At least the bills paid. I'm not.
You better learn to forgive that nigga. All right? I promise you, he got to forgive you a bunch of times every day anyway. Long as it's not like extra crazy, you know, you better learn to forgive that nigga, man.
If you don't have a man, you ain't nothing.
Doing this no more. We're the niggas who spend money, who pay all the bills. Where they at?
Winter has arrived for so many women, and
Don't nobody want to hear from you, nigga.
Because so that a man picks you and then he will
In front of Dollar Tree because I'm about to go in there and get some essentials. But before that, I honestly just had like the only crash out because I had stopped to get gas, right? And I'm really in a place in my life where I'm really budgeting my finances because I just don't got it like that. I'm in a real crunch, survival, financial rut. And I know it's not forever, but this is just the chapter I'm in. And
you know, I was just gonna say I got a soft spot in my heart for struggling red bones, but goddamn that septum ring. It hardened the soft spot in my heart. I had a soft spot right in the middle of my heart, and then I saw the septum ring and it stiffened right up. No more soft spot. It's crazy.
And as much as I try to be positive sometimes, like it's really hard. It's really hard to be in a financial like survival mode when you don't know what your next move is. You don't know where your next resource is coming from because it makes you hypervigilant. And like when you're hypervigilant, like you can't relax, your brain can't shut off and you can't stop worrying. And that shit just drains all your energy. Like having to worry all the time drains your energy. And I understand that like people are like, oh, pray, pray, pray. And don't get me wrong, I pray. But when I'm about to take a shit and I don't know when the next slice of paper toilet is coming from, like,
Whoa. We're hitting levels of needy that I am not prepared for as a man who might be called upon to step up. You know how to be telling brothers you got to step up. That is a level of neediness I don't want to be needed for. You know, shout out to Carmen. Are you starting to believe now? I need to be needed, but that's not the type of need I need to be needed for. You feel me? It's like it's nuances to this shit. It's levels to this shit. Like she tough, right? You niggas say shit. Yeah. You know what's tough? That 99-cent toilet paper she about to buy. That's what's tough. That dollar store toilet paper is hard on your cheeks. I'm trying to tell you. Better wipe delicately. This is what you do. You get you the 99-cent toilet paper and you get you a handful of that shit and you spritz a little bit of water on it. There you go. I'm telling you, you got to make that shit into a wet wipe or something.
you know, that's real life 3D shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I feel like it's a really difficult place to be in. And so with that being said, I had $25 in like my Apple Cash card. And so I was like, all right, bet I'm gonna go to the gas station. I'm gonna get $15 of gas. And then the rest, like I'm gonna take to get like a little bit of essentials at Dollar Tree. And when I asked him for 15 regular, he had put gas in my car and it charged my whole I just stood there because I'm not trying to crash out in front of this man, but I'm like,
woo! Damn. It was probably just a temporary hole. It'll come back in an hour or two. Don't worry. They're not going to take your whole $15. That's not how they do that. It might come back in the morning, though. You might have to wait till next morning. Anyway, like I said, the point of tonight's show was to have a conversation about need versus love and how relationships can't be built on romantic love. They actually have to have a level of mutual need. I don't know where this guy David Anderson came from, but you know how YouTube is, man. Every now and then, some nigga just be all of a sudden famous and he be everywhere.
And the background to go into that atmosphere. That's just my thoughts.
I mean, that's a feeling. That doesn't make it a fact. You are entitled to your own feelings, but it don't mean it's a fact. Like, my child plays Grand Theft Auto, but she's 10 years old with autism. I'm not going to give her the keys to my truck because that would be irresponsible and stupid. And they would probably jail me for that. Sometimes a microphone in the wrong hands is a weapon. And like I said, you will know the tree from the fruit that it bears. Show me the fruit and then we can have a conversation.
Talk to us about the YN apocalypse.
So again, this is another thing that Gen X and the baby boomers did, which was not pay attention to the importance of rearing your child. When you're getting paid by daddy government because daddy government did the baby face on you, I'll pay your rent, I'll buy your clothes, I'll give you housing too, just don't have a man in the house. When daddy is out of the equation because you forced him out, you get YNs. For every action, this is...
What do you even need fathers for? You know, I'm thinking about that whole clip with Chocolate Earth I ran for you earlier. And, you know, my whole contention wasn't really with her personally or any part of her story or whatever. It's not important. You know, we all came from somewhere. But the idea that modern women have been for a long time now just completely gung-ho about raising children, boys in particular, on their own. I mean, you can't think this is just going to go perfectly, right?
Science. Y'all learned this in 9th grade. In every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. So now you got these kids out here in Pooh Shiesty masks because you have not taught them that they can do something with their hands. You told them to go to college, and I'm sorry, everybody ain't a scholar. My grandfather put 7 kids through college with a 6th grade education just working with his hands. We get off of that because that's not sexy enough. Then you get this propaganda, this person's got to be a high-value man. He got to have 6, 7 figures for you to even look his way. He got to take you on a $300 meal date. The first date, don't know your middle name, your last name, your blood type, or your STD panel. But you want all these things for them. So at the end of the day, what's happened is these YNs are out here robbing you because you did not give them any skills to focus on. You did not give them anything to do. You did not give them any sense of self. You did not build up their self-esteem, and you did not hug your boys. You let your boys run and let the streets raise them, and now you're mad that it's coming home to roost. You did that.
So how do we fix this situation?
First of all, stay out of father.
Real quick, before we move on from that, you know, shout out to David Anderson for laying that squarely at the feet of the moms out there, because, you know, it's hard to blame the guy who wasn't there to do it. You feel me? I hate when people get up there and just tap dance around the issue.
These angry, mad, opportunistic, lying black women.
There's this myth out there that black men can't handle being spoken to, you know, and told what to do by black women. Black men come from our bodies.
Yeah.
So they're used to having these conversations with women.
The matriarchy is strong with the black
It is
community.
very strong.
A motherfucker just supposed to take and accept whatever the fuck you say because I'm a black woman. Bitch, shut up. The fuck out of here.
So how do we fix this situation?
First of all, stay out of father's business. Let me give you an example. I have 2 daughters. I know nothing about menstruation. I watch my children come into the world, but I don't know what it is to have the pain of childbirth. I stay in my lane. Protect, provide, back up my wife.
You hear that again, right? Men don't really relish the idea of having to raise their children alone. We totally accept the fact that we need you. We want to need you as wives and mothers. We want to need you. We accept that as the deal. It's not a bad deal if you do it right. Shut up a little bit.
If I had sons, my wife would fall back because it's my job, like it was my father's job and his father's job before him, to raise his son into a man. We have taught our children, we have taught society, and we put a battery in our women's back by telling them that masculinity is toxic, that submission is wrong. I got to submit to God. I got to submit to the IRS. You submit to your white ass boss every single day, but yet and still you won't submit to your husbands. But then you get on these podcasts, you get on these television shows, you watch these reality shows that are scripted, and you sit up there and you say, I want a man who's a provider. No, no, no. Your husband is supposed to be a provider. We out of whack. Iyanla Vanzant told y'all was out of order and nobody wanted to hear it.
So maybe I feel like with the submission thing, I feel like, because that's like a hot topic on the podcast world with submission, but we keep telling black women to submit to men that don't have their life together.
Who said that?
How can you submit to a man who doesn't submit to God? Everybody's not like you.
I understand that.
You know, this is another example of what I call apex fallacy in women. They only see really the quote alpha men. But here's the thing though. The men that are below her that aren't worth submitting to don't count in terms of like whatever she is individually. Let's say there are a bunch of guys out there who don't qualify for her as a woman, right? The man who does qualify for you is the man you should be submitting to. And I don't even necessarily care about the term submission per se. I think cooperation is a much more practical term to use right here. But that is the general dynamic of it all. Notice how they never find anybody worth submitting to, but they always find some dick. Ain't a man worth submitting to in 100-mile radius, but there's dick all around for miles and miles and miles. Crazy.
Like in the rare percentage.
I get that.
You must know that there are a lot of black men who don't move like you, who are not successful, who don't want to go to school, who don't want to do anything with their life, who don't have any finances, who don't have any ambition, who have nothing to offer but some dick.
Okay.
So how can you keep telling? Let's talk about it,
Clap it
because
up.
let's talk about it. Black women are in record numbers going to college. We're opening degrees. We're getting accolades.
Now, whether she says going to college or getting degrees or accolades, none of those things matter individually. Each of those individual things can be summed up to, I don't need you, I don't need you, I don't need you, and I don't actually need you.
Let's talk about it, because let's talk about it. Black women are in record numbers going to college. We're opening degrees. We're getting accolades. We're running nonprofit. We're running nonprofits.
I don't need you.
There's a large portion of black women who are educating themselves and taking their lives to the next level.
Now notice, and she's giving a full-throated defense of the very concept of, I have become so comfortable, so successful, so empowered in the modern world that I don't actually need you. So there is no practical exchange of need that we can build a relationship on. She's acknowledging that from her end, like arrogantly, but that is the reality of it. That is the state of play right now.
The black men are not reaching those goals. They're not meeting us on those levels.
Black women are the largest group of entrepreneurs. They also have more degrees. There are more black women in the C-suite. And to quote Dr. Umar Johnson, you don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious?
It's very suspicious.
You don't find that suspicious?
Go ahead.
Let me finish.
Go ahead.
Black women also have the majority and the highest rate of student loan debt, which means your debt to income ratio is shot. Problem number one. Problem number two is you spend all that time getting these things on you and not getting any learning in you. Having more degrees than a thermometer does not mean that you understand the temperature of our people. On top of that,
black folk really love these cute phrases. You know, just because you can read a thermometer doesn't mean you know what the temperature feel like. He good though. He good. That boy good.
I don't need a degree to tell you I'm a man. Most of my degrees are sitting in the drawer, and the rest of them are at my mama's house in Arizona. I ain't seen them. It don't matter. Everything I learned in college was about happening outside of the classroom.
But you went to college,
Hold on.
You went to college, though.
I went to college to please my mother. I had a record deal. I was singing backgrounds for Teddy Pendergrass. Let's tell the whole story, not just the parts you like.
Okay, so that's where that came from. Oh, he is industry people. Okay.
And
but
most
you still
of us,
went to college.
Again, most of us, black men specifically, go to college out of pressure from their mamas and their grandmamas, not because it's something to do to better themselves. The school industrial complex is made for black women. There have been several studies on this that talk about how young black boys are automatically labeled as behavior problems. They were labeled as educable mentally retarded back when Les Brown was in school, and that's going all the way back to the 50s. Then you sit up there and you put them in the programs, then you double down on their reading scores so that you know how many prisons to build. Everything is set up to make sure you rise and think that you are now above us, as opposed to realizing that there's a conspiracy to separate you from me.
So
why would she give a fuck about any of that? You think chicks care about conspiracies against the community?
Make it stop. Make the hurt stop, please. Like,
no, she don't care about no community conspiracies, nigga. That's not how this shit work. Nigga, you over here trying to kick knowledge? I know this nigga not up on stage trying to kick knowledge to a bad bitch. You see what I'm talking about, man? These niggas, man.
Good women are dead. Evil bitches, rise up!
Shout out to my man Jesse Lee with the $2 for the Panatax. Bro, the Panatax, thank you for that, by the way. I know people, I promised the Pana, and we're going to get a Pana. But this show is gonna run long. We got another hour and a half maybe before I get through the rest of this content.
Everybody must eat. Everybody must eat. Everybody must eat. Everybody must eat. Yes.
Let's go over to the LaPeace Network now. They had an interesting conversation. A couple of clips came out. They were talking about modern marriage and whatnot and so forth.
It calls for something different, right? So if we're talking about the distant history, then women needed marriage just like men, supposedly, right? But we might have needed it more because women didn't have any rights. We weren't able to live a regular life without being attached to some type of man. If you're thinking about specific times in history, you needed men. You couldn't even own property at one point unless you had a husband, right? And once your husband died, the next man in the family now had ownership over you. So according to history, women needed men more. Nowadays, that has changed a little bit, right? Women are in positions where we can own things on our own. We are able to have, property. We were able to make money. We're able to do all of these things on our own. So I don't think it's really shifted where men necessarily need marriage. I think it's up to both parties now, which once again can be maybe a part of the problem. I don't know. But in history overall, I would say women needed marriage more in the past.
So, yeah, I think it switched back and forth because women needed men, bank accounts, land, whatever, all of that in this country. But in the inception of the country, I guess it just depended because women inherited their husband's land when they passed away. And then ended up needing men because they changed the laws because they didn't want the women to have their land. So I
swear to God, she's freestyling right now. Girl, like you don't know no history. Stop, girl. You don't know no history. I don't know why you up here lying to me like you be knowing history and shit. Girls be trying to gas you up like they be having all these deep facts. Most of them don't. You are not. Nobody changed the laws so that we can just take women's shit away.
It kind of it flipped back and forth so much, and so nowadays I'm gonna say that it benefits men more than it does women now. So like it just depends on when, but yeah, both kind of it flip flop. But I think that it was more beneficial to men overall than it was ever to women.
Yeah, my answer to that. Go ahead, Amra.
Thank you, Brady. I work in the divorce industry. I work in family court. Men today have no need for women. In fact, women bring more problems, debt, stress, pain and suffering to men than anything else, than any.
Thank you. This is Amira. I think her name is actually on the panel. It's spelled a little bit funny here, but I remember when she first hit the Lapeef network a year or two ago. Oh my God, the girls hated her. And I don't know if she's off doing her own content somewhere, maybe, but I haven't really seen much of her in a while. And so it was good to see her come back for this round. And shout out to her for just kind of laying it out. And I like the approach that she took right away. Men don't really need women anymore. Well, it's not that men don't need women. Like I said earlier, technically men want to need women because, you know, family, children, domestic happiness and all that. Smacking your wife on the ass while she's baking cookies in the kitchen. You know, those little moments. It's the little things in life. But what she's trying to say is that women have kind of pissed away that value that we kind of expected to get out of it.
Value. Maybe before, when a man got married, there was more value that he was getting from a woman, but you know, he was getting her purity, her loyalty, her family, and things were different. But now men get married to women who aren't pure, who don't have any skills anymore. The majority of women don't even know how to make basic things at home. They don't know how to press clothes. They don't know how to do anything. So they're not really doing anything for men. Today, a man can do everything for himself, especially like washing clothes, whatever. But before, he needed a wife to wash the clothes, to cook, to press. Now, he can do all that stuff by himself because he has machines. We have machines that does everything.
And not only that, because, you know, the common refrain today is, you know, women don't need men, right? I don't need no man. We've been hearing that most of my life, right? I don't need no man. Strong and independent. Sisters are doing it for themselves now, right? Yet, for men, outside of that one thing, which is, you know, family, children, that whole deal, men have decided that if I wasn't really ever going to get that anyway, if the odds of that working in my favor are looking way, way out of bounds, then maybe I don't need you either. And then not only that, but I think when it comes to like the dating dynamic, this is where it really gets brutal. For a lot of the women, the men that they want either don't want them or don't need them in that way, or they don't want to need them in that domestic motherly way. And I think that's where it gets brutal. That's where you start saying shit like, my ex stole my childbearing years and he owes me compensation. Because ultimately, no matter how much he had sex with you or no matter how much you went out together, he didn't want to need you in that most intimate way. It's just too risky.
Women are almost useless in marriage today. And I say that only because of the type of women that I'm talking about. I see it every day in divorce. Men, when they get divorced, The women take all of their resources, all of their money in divorce. So I would say women need men more today than before, because now you see women, they get married, they pop out a kid or two, maybe even sometimes none. And when they get divorced, they take the men.
Shout out to Keep It 100 in the chat. He says need is weakness. I mean, honestly, 100 from the male point of view, love in and of itself is a weakness, right? Like, think about how many movies where the bad guy, he has the good guy because I got your kids or something like that. You know, you can't do anything because these people are going to get hurt. Like, love is always a weakness, right? It's not really controversial per se, but I think it's a part of the deal. Like think about this. Like, love, need is such a weakness that men in marriages literally have lower testosterone levels, right? That is the trade-off you make for the domestic discipline and tranquility and all that. Because you really can't be your most worst man inside of an actual good marriage. You know, you have to be a little bit better than your worst possible self, right? Whereas if you're alone, if you're a single dude, you can always be your worst possible self. And, you know, chicks can just come and go. It's whatever.
For all he has until the day she gets married again through child support, spousal support.
And yes, American man, I started drinking well before the show started. We were pre-gaming. I was cooking. I ate. You know, you can't drink on an empty stomach. So I had, some pasta, some salad, and all that. I ate. And now we on fire tonight. Like the video, people.
Support any way that she can milk a man. So I'm seeing it a little bit differently. But yeah.
Okay, if I can just respond. So there's no statistic, I understand like our personal experiences, but there's no statistic that would support the fact that marriage benefits women more today. I would say that I would agree with Bo that it shifted, right? The initial reason for marriage benefited men, and it benefited families that the lineage ran through the patriarch. Right? The man's last name, the man's lineage. That was the original design. It benefited him. It did not benefit her. No matter what we say, you sold your daughter so that you could secure. That was what the exchange was.
I want you guys to look at this right here. Typical black feminist right here. Big forehead, big nappy hair. Glasses ain't that big, all right? Normally they have big, stupid glasses. The glasses are cool this time, but big, goofy earrings, though. This is your hyper-educated, black radical love interest right here. Totally obliterating the very concept of man and woman from a historical perspective.
Last name, the man's lineage. That was the original design. It benefited him. It did not benefit her. No matter what we say, you sold your daughter so that you could secure. That was what the exchange was. As we progress and we're talking about flipping back and forth, and now we have the idea of the spinster and the old maid, the woman who couldn't get married and have kids. Yeah, it would benefit a woman in those times because now she would be shamed if she did not have an attachment to a man. And in certain cultures, she would be stoned, unalived, all the things if she was not attached to a man. It would.
Well, I mean, it's not even just that, she would be shamed for the sake of it. And I don't think modern women have really conceptualized this problem quite properly. While you're still young and attractive and, your body wants what it wants, because, we're all, you and me, baby, we ain't nothing but mammals. You will be having sex, especially if you're a woman of any meager attractiveness, right? Sex will be a part of your life as an adult. If you're not married, if you're not in a committed relationship, then the cumulative amount of time that you spend not being married just means multiple, just man after man after man after man after man. And from a community perspective, why is that a good thing? Like, you might like it because, you know, it's what you're into. But on the whole, you know, why is it a good thing? And this is why you get shamed for it, because, like, you know, bitch, you tripping.
Benefit her from a safety perspective, right? Because she was required to have that man. In today's day and age, men report higher wages, longer life expectancy by being married.
I hate when people abuse that marriage stat. Marriage does not automatically equate to a man just making more money. I mean, if marriage is naturally equated to men making more money, men would rush to get married. We would be marrying strippers. We would marry crackheads. If getting married was just an automatic path to making more money, we would be marrying all of y'all. We'd have multiple wives. We would make polygamy legal. But that's not the case, is it?
How do it equivalate?
This is what's really going on, right? Men who make a good amount of money, men who are already on an upward trajectory for high earning, are more likely to be married. Because the women who want to get married, those are the prime candidates for marriage.
Right? When you think about presidents, none of them have ever been able to even try to attain the position without having a wife. Partners at quite a lot of law firms, right? When you think about positions that are high ranking, having a wife, having a sign of discipline, loyalty, security, consistency has always proven to be beneficial to a man. So when you're saying what benefits who more, on the flip side, conversely, when a woman tries to attain when she's married, people are factoring in, oh man, you may have a baby in the next 2 years, so we can't hire you for certain positions.
That has nothing to do with marriage. That's a fact of womanhood. At any point in time as a woman, you just might get knocked up. Like, I swear to God, women get knocked up in the most mysterious ways, bro. One day you could just be riding on a donkey with your husband, Joseph. Next thing you know, boom, baby. You have no idea. Women just get knocked up. You can't even really plan or predict it. It's crazy.
If you even look into Dubai's culture, some women lie about being married because of the fact that if they're married and they're a certain age, it will be assumed that they will have a child in the next 5 years. They will not receive a job. So when you think about what we're actually benefiting, I mean, I guess, yeah, I got a man, my man, that's my benefit. But then when you're actually thinking about it structurally, generationally, not really. Like, let's take our personal feelings out of it and let's really think about it.
Okay.
Hey, shout out to Rational B. I like this comment here. Everything modern women believe is false. Even the true parts are partial half-truths, right? That is like incredibly spot on. And as a guy that kind of, you know, goes from pana to pana across the Chitlin circuit around the Negro verse, that's an even better term. I'm gonna start calling it the Negro verse. You know, there's a multiverse out here on the internet. Part of it's black. But as I travel the Negro verse, I realized that a lot of the women, they really grandstand on nothing. Very few women are actually like well researched and well knowledged, and also can deliver it well in a debate format. And so you wind up just hearing a lot of chicks, you know, dumping their emotions on you, weaponizing their feelings against you.
I can think of a stat that would support the idea that men have been less beneficial than women, and that would be family court. when you look at the idea that the one tangible thing that we know, right? And the family court doesn't think that anything else is important because they don't enforce anything else. All they enforce is the finances, and 97% of men have to pay alimony versus the 3% of women. So, and they disregard everything else. If I get divorced right now, I can't tell homegirl, hey, you still need to make me sandwiches. You still need to wash my clothes. You still need to, I can't do any of that. All of that shit is off the table, right? So nobody else thinks that's important or that.
Now, what he's pointing out here is that, and we're talking love versus need and how it's a problem in the modern relationship, because when men criticize women for marrying the government effectively, what it really means is that women can extract their need from the man through the government. Yet the things that men need from women, it is literally impossible to extract that from women through government. I mean, maybe it's not impossible. I could probably come up with a white paper if you gave me, some time, but yeah, we could Handmaid's Tale this thing easy, no problem. But we don't do that because we actually like women. Men actually like women more than women like men. And also, I think men like women more than women care to acknowledge.
That beneficial to where you are still responsible for it. All of your duties are now relinquished, but whoever has to pay has to continue to pay. And I can tell you this, if it weren't for 97% of men paying it, then the family court system would be very different.
Well, but wait, that's to assume the people who are actually that actually have the money to pay it. Like, that percentage comes from people who can pay it. Average men can't pay like these large numbers, and they can't pay alimony at all whatsoever.
Less than 10%.
Yeah, because average people, I'm an average person. I had to put my retirement, my everything, my accounts, my business was up for discussion. If my ex-husband didn't say, I don't want anything, because both of us had businesses. I didn't want his, he didn't want mine. But if he said he wanted something from my business, he could have had that, because I built that business inside of my marriage. So average people do not pay. Like, both parties, the woman and the man, have to put everything on the table. So the percentage of men that you are talking about, that's the percentage of men with money. Everybody don't got money like y'all got money. These men, the men.
I don't think she understands how men look at this, like the way male logic works in this particular situation. If I was a rich man and you would do me dirty, I still can't entertain you as a poor man. That's really what she's up against, right? Like, you're telling me basically that I'm only safe with you if I never make any money. Like, why would I even want somebody around me like that? Like, as soon as you get rich, I'm taking that shit, right? Like, why would I even want you around me? No, you just don't really get the logic of it all. But they had another clip I wanted to jump to real quick before we, I'm going to open up the panel in a minute. But not just yet, though.
Blaming feminism for everything. I do not understand how feminism is responsible for the fact that marriage and the concept of being with another person is romanticized. Feminism was a fight for equity, equality when it comes to socio-political landscapes. Nothing related to, I want to make sure that I love my man and you're making me not have to love him. That's dumb.
Was marriage ever really about love or survival?
I would say that it started out as survival, and I think that we have tried to make it evolve into love. But yeah, initially it was just about survival.
All right.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree. Marriage has always been a contract to exchange, whether it be securing lineage or securing land or securing and transferring wealth. It has literally never started on the concept of love. You know, we talk a lot about traditional versus modern. I think one of the most modern things you can have is actually a marriage based on love.
One of the most modern things you can actually have is a marriage based on love. One of you guys do me a favor, hit the like button. I can't reach it from here. I need one of y'all to reach out and hit that like button for me. The most modern thing you can have is a marriage based on love, y'all. Let's run that back a little bit.
For securing and transferring wealth, it has literally never started on the concept of love. You know, we talk a lot about traditional versus modern. I think one of the most modern things you can have is actually a marriage based on love.
Is that also a part of the reason why marriage is no longer the stable bedrock institution that it used to be? You know, once upon a time, people got married and, you know, they stayed married. Somebody had to die on you and shit, you know? You had to bury your spouse in order to get a new one. Now, because it's all about love, people are just like, you know what? I don't think I'm in love anymore.
I actually agree with both of them. And I would even go as far as to say the reason why marriages don't work nowadays is because we base it off of love. And a lot of us, you know, love, we think of love as a feeling rather than a decision, a constant choice you have to make with another person, actual commitment. So once that love goes away, right, love can be fleeting, then that relationship is no longer important, which is why marriages don't last nowadays.
I want to say something too. I would say, I don't know if I can put it into survival or love, but the process of marriage happened because you're inviting another person to your family. You're adding another member to your family. And
Amira is doing an excellent job of breaking it down at a granular level. When I describe it more as, you don't start out needing each other because you're both, you know, two strangers. You're not supposed to need each other at that point. But the process, the very act of building a family, or in a marriage, combining two families, you are now creating a situation where you're supposed to need each other in order to grow together, to thrive together. Like, you need her to have your children. She needs you to provide the big things for her and the children. You need each other so we can all do this well.
Hopefully expecting more members to come through that marriage. Formally adding another member to your family is like how humans used to live in tribes. You're making your tribe bigger. So I don't know if that is survival or if that is human tribalism. I don't know what you would call it.
I think that would quite literally be survival.
I was just about to say like, thing pretty.
Yeah, growing.
It's like,
growing
how could they
village,
survive if they didn't do
having
that?
more people around you, like that's very, very much survival. Yeah.
Marriage has always been a business merger. Like, that's how it started. We're not going to move away from that. When we started to modernize things and folks like De Beers started to get in, the commercial industry started to make things change. We exchanged, you know, cattle for the diamond engagement ring, and everything went to hell from there. You can call any banquet hall and say, hey, I want to have a party, and they'll quote you one price. You can call that same banquet hall and say, I'm going to have a wedding reception, same day, same time, and that price is automatically going to quadruple, if not quintuple. It's big business for the merchants. And it's so on all of this Disney and a diamond is forever, they live happily ever after BS that we bought into. But
now, him talking about marriage as a business is technically and practically the most accurate way I think you should describe a marriage. I think the idea of love should be a given. We'll put that on the side for a minute. But ultimately, it is more like a business, you know. the woman and the man are like two independent business entities, and businesses only merger out of a mutual need. One party has something that the other party wants, and the other party is willing to provide something in exchange for that. Now, on top of that, love grows and develops. Like, so Amira, in this case, right, she is from a culture where they actually have arranged marriages, and they've been having that kind of thing for thousands of years. And I don't think it's ever assumed that you just don't love your husband or your wife. The love part just comes naturally, or at least you expect it to. I don't think every single situation works out perfectly, but that seems to be the plan. And those cultures right now aren't exactly dying out like, you know, Western culture is.
But it's always been about power. Kings married for power and strategy. Sometimes people even married their own cousins so that they could keep their bloodlines as royal as humanly possible. It is not an uncommon thing. Arranged marriages were there because the fathers of the bride and groom had business that they wanted to make sure stayed together. It's not an uncommon thing. This is a relatively new thing going back just a couple hundred years when it comes to this whole romance, love leading thing. So yeah.
I agree with the panel. I mean, I think that marriage was a contract between two people. Mainly back in the day, it was because of royalty and land and, you know, people trying to get an obscene amount of wealth. And so I think that, you know, in the last couple hundred years, we've romanticized it. And I think that came with like...
There's that word again. We romanticized it. You see why I keep calling you niggas romantic? That shit don't work, bro.
Feminism and everything else. Everybody wanted to care about how people feel, and our feelings, just the way we feel emotionally, it superseded anything else. Like, we put our feelings above it. And I think that all of that happened around the same time. And I have to agree with the synopsis of the panel. The marriage is a contract. And I know, and hey, Amada, in her culture, like, they still arrange marriages, and I don't have a problem with it. Like, I think that if the marriage is arranged, then at least someone can vouch for somebody, instead of everybody just going out here, because everybody can't find someone on their own. So I think that it's set up to where you can, you know, someone else can find that person, and I just feel like love can come later.
Love can come later. Because remember, her love kind of goes up and down anyway. One minute she's in love with you. Next minute she's looking at the mailman kind of long. You can't really count on her love like that, right? But there are other things that you can use to kind of keep the thing a little bit more stable and secure, you know?
I don't necessarily feel like you have to be in love to be successful in life or to live a good life. So, you know, sometimes partnerships work, and sometimes that does not involve the action or choice of being in love.
Since the commercialism has been infused into the marriage, I think that's when we saw to see a massive decline in what we now know as marriage. We all know that it was just for joining of the families. It was strategic. People wanted to build on their wealth. I think we got more away from that and bought into the fantasy that mostly Western civilization has served us. They told us what we were supposed to do. This is just part of the...
You know, women have this weird false calculation of you know, where they are in the grand scheme of things. Sugar Bum in the chat, you know, and this is why we keep you around, Sugar Bum. You know, I'm never going to get rid of you. She says, you're a threat. I'm not. I'm a resource. You're a nigga. Now, your first part, you're a threat. I'm not. That is fair enough. I mean, you are a threat, but you're nothing like the threat that I present as a man, right? As a man, I must be threatening. A man who is not threatening, in some degree, he tends to have a harder time in life. So I'll accept being a threat, right? But I'm reasonable, though. I'm threatening, but I'm reasonable. You know, I can read and write and negotiate and shit like that. This is how we have civilization. Now, when it comes to the other half of your statement here, I am a resource and you're a nigga, you're only half right. You are not a resource. And as a nigga, I am a resource acquisition unit. That's all I really do is acquire resource, right? As a woman, you don't acquire resources really in terms of like the male-female capability. You mostly suck resource, right? You vacuum up resources. You collect resources. You gather resource. It's a different thing. Resource gathering and harnessing and all that, completely the male domain. Modern women, you live in this, TikTok digital world where you can, exist in delusion. But a woman to herself is not a resource. She is more of a liability. She's like a struggling asset, basically, You got to pump a lot into her, and eventually you get something that pays off, which is kids, and maybe you get to go on vacations a lot when you're old.
Programming to have us docile and do what it is that we want to do. This romanticization of or romanticizing of the marriage, it just made it unholy at this point, and the expectations have completely changed from what it is that people were expecting before. They were expected to be in a better position for their family financially. Now people are expected to be a certain height. They are worried about what the look is, and what they're doing with weddings is just blasphemy, in my opinion. Why would you spend 30, 40, 50,000, $500,000, some of these fools, just so you could show off to other people to say, look, yeah, we did it. And it's no more egregious as what they've done to holidays that we celebrate and everything else. People found a way to commercialize and get to the bag. That's all it is. And
the problem of marriage isn't really a commercialization issue. Like that's not the problem with marriage. The problem with marriage is the legal structure and the incentive structure. All the commercialization is, we can actually bear that. It's okay to spend a lot of money on the wedding dress and the ring and all that. If you got it, it ain't tricking if you got it, as they say, right? But when the law turns that whole thing into a sham, yeah, it doesn't look as good as you thought it did.
Us being a consumer-based society, it falls right in line with what they should have done to fool people like us.
I'm gonna need us to survive one session without blaming feminism for everything. I do not understand how feminism is responsible for the fact that marriage and the concept of being with another person is romanticized. Feminism was a fight for equity, equality when it comes to socio-political landscapes. Nothing related to I want to make sure that I love my man and you're making me not have to love him. That's dumb. Like, so I'm sorry, let me not say it that way. That's
the idea that a relationship can last, 30, 40 years just on pure romantic love is dumb. This is why I say the real concept at heart here is mutual need. We need each other for things. And we individually respect that we need each other, and that keeps us in a certain bound,
Is not the goal of feminism. So I need feminism to not have to catch every single stray. They can catch some, but that's not a feminism thing. What happened was, and breaking it down, marriage was about the exchanging of wealth. when wealth began to be consolidated, right? Meaning when you're consolidating wealth to the top, where less and less of the general population have wealth, and we are steadily shrinking the middle class, what happens is that in order to keep patriarchy alive, you need to sell a dream. So now you need to sell the idea of love. You need a man's love. You need a man's protection.
Now she's just being a feminist here. And the idea of romantic love did kind of get inserted like in the late 1800s, the Victorian era. But she has no idea what she's talking about right now.
Because that man doesn't have land. He doesn't have cattle no more. He don't have the little goats, little cows. He doesn't even have the baby little pot belly pigs. He doesn't have anything except for this idea that a woman needs him to be there so she can feel as though she's worthy, right? So the idea.
And we're going to open up the panel in a minute. Throw $1 in the hat, y'all. We about to open up the panel. We got to get that panel tax off, though. I need you to throw $1 in the hat for the panel tax, y'all. We are almost ready for a panel.
Yes, as we're tricking people with the concept of love, we're going to keep consolidating wealth to the top. All of these dreams have been sold to us many times. We talk about the nuclear family and, the real estate sector. We talk about all these things and how it was all a ploy. The whole concept of romantic love is because when you're snatching money and resources away from those men, they can't uphold patriarchy anymore. They can't do the things that say I'm the protector and the provider, because I can't provide because we are in capitalism. So I need you to stay because of love and loyalty. And especially in the Black community, Black women stay because of love and loyalty. We don't stay because of security with financial wealth.
Yet Black women are more single than they've ever been. How can you speak to love and loyalty when you're mostly single? Most of the Black women who have children right now are not with the father of their children. Yet they have love and loyalty. And you notice how, very diabolical it is, too, but you got to think about it. You got to respect the game, bro. Always respect the game. Even when it kick you in the balls every now and then. Just take that shit. Just walk it off, bro. Just walk it off. Rub some tussin on it. You'll be all right. But it's really diabolical how women will go out of their way to convince men to believe in ideas like love, romantic love and all that. Yet, women are the number one reason why men stop believing in love. Think about that. We believe in love because of you, and we stop believing in love also because of you. There's no other way that can happen. As a man, you have to believe, you only can believe in love because there was a woman that you loved at some point. You just felt literally retarded over her, right? And then at some point, some woman, maybe that same woman, but some woman totally disabused you of that dream and you no longer believed anymore. And so all I'm saying is women create the feelings of love in men, and then they destroy them in sequence, though. It's called life.
So I need us to not blame feminism for every single thing. Let's be very clear.
I don't think that, I think that we were having the same point, and maybe you misunderstood what I said, because I wasn't blaming feminism. What I was saying was feminism contributed to the romanticism of marriage, which is exactly what you said. I said it all happened around the same time, and I do agree with that. It pushed for women to be independent.
Shout out to Jesse Lee in the chat. Jesse Lee know what I'm talking about. Hadaway knew what I was talking about. What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more. That is the best love song. It is just the best lyrical encapsulation of love. It's like a fucking haiku. What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more. It's literally a haiku.
just like you said. And if you're no longer dependent on men, then what other way would you need them? It would be for love. So that's just my take on it, and that's my stance. I haven't been on a panel in a while, so pushing feminism, maybe I wasn't pushing feminism. That was just my ideology of why it happened. Is because I did think that it kind of shifted the narrative around that time, because women were like, I want to pay my own bills, I can do this, I can do that, I can do all of the things on my own. So when it came to a relationship, they no longer needed a man for that. So then it's like, well, what do I need a man for? I need them to help me emotionally. I want them to be emotionally available. I want them to love me. I want them to do all of these things.
That's what you think you need a man for? I gotta tell you, I'm not really trying to be doing all of that shit all the time. Like, you know, I mean, I got you a little bit, but like, I don't want you to be counting on that shit 24/7, you know? Feels like a lot. It feels a lot. It feels like a lot of icky.
And if you're no longer dependent on men, then what other way would you need them? It would be for love. So that's just my take on it, and that's my stance. I haven't been on a panel in a while, so pushing feminism, maybe I wasn't pushing feminism. That was just my ideology of why it happened. Is because I did think that it kind of shifted the narrative around that time, because women were like, I want to pay my own bills, I can do this, I can do that, I can do all of the things on my own. So when it came to a relationship, they no longer needed a man for that. So then it's like, well, what do I need a man for? I need them to help me emotionally. I want them to be emotionally available. I want them to love me. I want them to do all of these things. So that's just my take on it. I wouldn't say that it's to blame. I didn't use those words. But I will say that it accelerated the romanticizing of marriage. That's just my take on it.
My mic's working pretty. Can you?
And I think about what she said, though. That actually was kind of wisdom right there. The more independent, the more free women become, the more we romanticize the idea of marriage and partnership. Because as women become more independent, as women become free, they are no longer willing to engage in the traditional behaviors or maintain the traditional posture of a loyal, dutiful, faithful wife, right? And so now, because they're no longer willing to offer these other things, these more traditional things in exchange, all they can now put on the table is the idea of love, and thus the blue pill is born. And like I've been saying all night, you know, men need to be needed, but not by the needy, though. Let's check in on the needy again.
Amazon has too many employees. They've got so many that they're going to lay off 30,000 employees from corporate jobs starting Tuesday. That's nearly 10% of their workforce. And the layoffs are going to start tomorrow through email. Because, of course, nobody ever has enough backbone to tell you to your face. It's always through email. They did these little training sessions today to...
You know, there's another problem that a lot of modern women have. Just looking at this lady right here, it occurred to me I should talk about this for a second here. You know, in these times of needing a man, even if you don't want a man, how do you do that when you already are the man? Like, you are the man you are the man you need right now. You should be coming to your rescue any minute now. You should be showing up to pay your bills right now. You are the man that you need, baby. Goddamn, look at you. How you gonna be out here trying to need a man?
Prep managers for communicating to employees when
real.
the mass layoffs start tomorrow. Now I want to connect some dots on something real quick. Companies will always cut you before they cut their profits, period. And Amazon's goal, they want record profits by the end of the year. And how they gonna get them? By tossing you out the door, by paying pennies on the dollar, by making sure that shareholders keep smiling. That is the entire play. And see, here's the kicker. Rich people don't just want their slice of the pie. They want the whole bakery. And they're gonna get it one layoff at a time.
And now, you know, the women because women in accountability just don't work. They have to blame rich people, and because that's a part of the socialism scheme. Women will literally vote in communism because they don't need no man. That is the trajectory that we're heading on right now. Women are approaching or attempting to vote in global communism because they don't need no man. We'll see how that works out.
Sad but true. I literally just drove almost an hour to come donate plasma. Spent 2 hours inside the plasma center filling out paperwork and watching videos just for them to prick my finger and be like, my H levels or whatever are too low and I can't give a donation today. Mind you, I was depending on that donation to be able to pay my rent today, so I'm just irritated and lost today, and I'm just over it. I'm over today as a whole. I just want to cry, and I kind of just want to I don't even know, just cry, I guess. Sleep. Can't even sleep. You ever be so stressed out you can't sleep? I feel like I'm so stressed out I can't sleep properly. I feel like I'm.
Yeah. I know what it's like. It's tough, ain't it? Sometimes you just gotta reach deep down into the pit of your balls and find the strength to keep going. But oh well, damn, I forgot.
Always waking up anxious because it's whenever I wake up and it's the next day, it just makes me feel more anxious because it's there's just so much going on. I pray that the universe really changes my financial situation this year, because constantly being in this state of either having to work 3 to 4 jobs and never sleep, never get time to myself, barely be able to take care of my well-being, but be able to afford bills, or work 1 job or 2 jobs and still struggle on bills and still be, it's you really can't win either way. And I'm just becoming so numb. I'm really numb, so I don't know. It's a waste of time. Irritated.
Now, what's crazy about this, right? And dirty folks, I hear you. Keep it together, brother. Keep it together. Look, we got a BBW about to hit the stage next, bro. You got to hold on. You got to hold it together, bro. Keep it in. 1 more minute.
Hey, that's a waste of light skin in this.
Bro, I said earlier, I got a soft spot in my heart for struggling red bones. You know what I mean? But, it is what it is, man. Price going down. All I'm saying is, bro, this is the question I was about to ask you, man. In women's time of need, isn't it the supreme irony that men don't really want to be needed anymore?
No, it's not the irony, because men do feel the need to be needed. To be needed is part of the social contract. Men have reallocated where they put their need. I am at the point, I'm a social guy. I rather my guys need me. I rather my little mentees need me. Some guys rather their team on Call of Duty need them. Men still want to be needed. They just don't love these hoes, man. Motherfuckers drinking tequila, smoking weed.
I just wanted to point out, did you notice when she was talking, she said that she hopes the universe is what brings her a better job?
You know what? Hey, Snowman, how you doing, sir? You know what?
I had to step away from us for a second. You guys are supposed to keep talking, man. You know how this goes. You're professionals already.
You know what, Snow? You know what, bro? I heard it, but I didn't hear it, because part of being a good patriarch, and this as a father, right, is when they're talking, all you hear is womp, 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 womp. You just look for things to break. Or did you hear me? I heard it, but I didn't hear it till you said it again. Girls talking with clothes on.
Hey, yeah. And Hood, when you get done with your clips, there's a link in the back. Let me know when you can get to that link, and I'll give you the timestamp, because this is the wildest shit you will ever listen to.
Yeah, I pulled it up on my phone just so I could have it on my history, but I couldn't like pre-screen it because I'm doing the show right now. So
No, dude,
I didn't
it's
want
the
to add
fucking
it.
dude. It's the dude.
Can we keep the language a little bit tame? Because I'm trying to keep this clean here tonight as much as I can.
So basically, Brian and Andrew asked this girl, or this girl tells them about a situation right before her and her husband split up, and it's the most craziest thing I've ever heard a woman say in my life, dude. Craziest. And then she defends it. And then, dude, you just have to watch it. It's like 10 minutes. You can put it in double time, and it'll blow your mind.
Girls talking with clothes on this wild, bro.
I know,
right? Look. I just got off the phone. I talked to my mentee for.
I want to tell you exactly what it is, but it'll spoil the reaction if I do.
All right, let's keep on the hush. Let's keep on the hush.
I'll check it out. Let me tell you something.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, Snowman, you got to drop. Give me that link again in the back chat. Because
it's in the back.
I spent 2 hours talking to my mentee, trying to talk him off the bridge of all the mistakes he's making with his little sex buddy. And it all came down to him being 25, 26 years old. And I was like, look, bro, you're in the age bracket to fall in love. It's too late for me. Look, once you hit 30, love is no longer on the table for a man. If you
really 27,
if you mature. I remember I have
put the timestamp in the back too.
I have a younger cousin. We're exactly 10 years apart. I was 39. It was his 29th birthday. I called him on his 29th birthday. I say, look, cuz, you following my footsteps. You heavy hoeing like I did. You listen to me and your dad, and we got you out here as a savage. However, you got 1 year to get married, because once you turn 30, it's over. You ain't gonna get no better. He said, it's already too late for me, cuz. I done seen too much. I done did too much. I was like, oh my God. Because once women are like religion. If you have one woman, you will love it. If you have 5 or more women, you'll be like, oh,
you're gonna want to commit sideways if you have one, or if you have 5 or more, dude. What are you talking about?
I'm talking about just
dude. I had when I was in my early 30s, I had a rotation, and just having a rotation of 4 or 5 different girls drove me batshit nutty. Because dude, I literally had to get his phone just specifically for them, because
before the conversation starts,
okay, we about to freestyle out. Okay, go ahead.
I want to actually I want to lay this argument here at the table of men here. Am I way out of bounds? Because Dirty Folk, you kind of spoke to it. I think you kind of supported it to some degree, or at least, because I had to step away. I couldn't hear everything you said, but you seem to be supportive of it to some degree. But this idea that men want to be needed in the relationship, and I specifically say, like, it's a mutual need. Like, it's not just some whole shit, but like, men do kind of we want to have a place that is ours, you know. And I'm asking Angry Snowman first, and then I'm gonna pass it to everybody else. Snowman, the idea that men want to be needed.
You know what? I think maybe as young men there might be a need to want to be needed, but I think as a man gets older, he kind of grows out of that. Honestly, I think as he goes through life and deals with the trials of life kind of like beats that need to be needed out of him, where a lot of men are just, content with, existing.
Now, here's the problem with that, right? There's this phenomenon of like the guy who retires and he doesn't find anything to do with his life and he dies shortly, versus the guy who, retires and keeps working at another little job just to have something.
Right.
He stays going forever. I do think there is some type of argument of men need something to keep them going, maybe.
I agree with that, but I think that's why I think in like the small town I grew up in, there was a lot of, retired men that would meet up at the Eagles in the morning and have coffee every morning, same time, religiously. You know what I'm saying?
It's McDonald's in Chicago.
And I think that, and also there were other men's clubs there that were specifically tailored to more so seem like retirees, where they could sit, they could meet up, they could do stuff. And it was on a routine schedule. Like the guy that lived next to me, he got up every morning at, I think it was like 4:30 in the morning, put the flag up, You know, then went down to the Eagles, had coffee with the guys. I mean, and then had a bunch of other shit that he did all throughout the day, and it was different stuff all throughout the week just to keep him busy. It wasn't until his kids put him in the nursing home that he ended up passing away.
Right, and that isn't so much needing to be needed like I'm talking about. That's just, you know, he had a life, right? He had an active life, so he wasn't just lonely.
Though. Like my dad got a cat. I'm so happy my dad got a cat. He don't take care of the cat well, but he ain't take care of his kids well either. Like two babies, but the fact that he has something to do after my mom passed, and now he has something to take care of, I think is helping him out, no matter how bad he mistreats that cat on accident.
And see, that's why people, and this is another thing. Now we're getting a little bit more close to women. Women have the same need because women who don't have children tend to become dog and, you know, pet moms or whatever. And even women who do have children, like once the kids get older, like you need something in the house. And so it's like
other one. You forgot about
what?
the other thing. If she has a sister or a brother that got kids, either she
the auntie.
That part, either the rich auntie, which they think they're gonna be, or the
drunk auntie.
Thank you.
Wait, I got a question.
Yeah.
You mean the drunk auntie that be?
I'm gonna kick it back to you.
All of her nephews up as they grow up.
I got a quick question.
Yeah, weird on.
Whoever on the panel, why don't we call these women winos? We know they love wine. Why don't we call them winos? Why is wino just a masculine thing?
It is because it's too pejorative. We call them wine moms and wine aunts to give it dignity.
I've been calling them winos. Hey,
Moscato and Night Train cost the same price. Why she get to drink Moscato, barefoot Moscato, and he drink Night Train, he a wino? It's the same. You know what? Never mind. I'm sorry.
All right. So,
well, I mean, you know, Night Train don't come in a box though. It's levels to this shit.
Don't come in like a plastic bottle now.
Probably do.
I don't know. I ain't seen Night Train in so long, bro. Probably.
I think it do. It's up there with Old Granddad and the other ones. You know what I'm saying? They in a plastic bottle.
I'll take your word for it, bro.
You know,
the whole thing about
hold on. Yeah, before you jump in here, Trey. I'm gonna kick the question to you in a minute. But Mr. O, want versus need. I'm going to kind of switch it up a little bit. I want you to talk to this idea of the relationship being built on mutual need versus romantic love. What's your opinion on that? You think I'm close to the mark or off or what?
I'm glad you framed that question because I was going to respond in that way because I was going to try to tie that in. You know, the biggest gaslight that we had to deal with the so-called from the opposite sex in the community, the phrase is, would you rather be wanted than needed? See, that right there is one of the biggest gaslight phrases because
Sugar Bum in the chat kept saying that too.
They know what they're saying when they say that ish because they want who they want when they want them. You know what I'm saying? But when they don't want them, they discard them. The person they need, the person they need is always gonna be in need. You know what I'm saying? I mean, look at we in the bond Nate season.
Yeah, I get it, man. There ain't nobody coming to see her oldest. Ain't nobody coming to see Sugar.
But no, they tell you that.
No, I think you spot on real quick. You spot on, and this is an argument that I was making to Chanel when I had this conversation the first time around when it came up. I think that you as a woman, when I was talking to her, I was explaining it this way. Like she as a woman was attempting to lure me into an unsecure situation by having me depend totally on this idea of her love. Whereas a situation that's built on need is a little bit more concrete. Like, not that, you know, you could never leave or never die or anything like that, but there's a lot more structure there to keep both parties honest.
Hood, when you said that, Hood, I just thought about it. The reason why they're trying to give you the idea of love is because pretending to love you requires them actually doing nothing.
Really? I mean, they was gonna be fucking you and screaming anyway, so like you would have been gassed up just the same.
Honestly, it's a masculine conversation.
Are you saying that the idea of love from a woman is just one big gaslight?
Yes,
bro. Listen, right, think about it, right? The idea of all we need is love. I don't have to do anything to love you.
No.
I can just say I love you. No, hold on, let me finish. I can just say I love you. Huh?
I said finish up because you jumped the order. I'm gonna get it to Trey in a
Oh, all right. No. I'm just saying, right? What you just said, it just hit me. Like that's why they're trying to tell you about. Oh, it should be all about love because it doesn't require them to do anything, but say I love you and blow you and then move on.
They don't even blow you, but that's not the issue. The issue is worse than that. They require your love. They're telling you need to love them. Only men have the ability and capacity to love.
That's the trap right there. Well, hold on. Everybody's jumping in. I got to get it to Trey. Trey, obviously they're kind of stepping all over this question here, so I want to kick it to you clean now. Is the idea of a relationship built on mutual need versus romantic love? All right, which one is stronger? Rather, which one is the more stable situation? Mutual need or romantic love?
For me, it's neither, man. Maybe it's some kind of hybrid that. The woman must need and love you. If you're going to give her the time to move in with you, being an LTR with her, and you're going to kick your resources out to her, she needs to need you and love you like the freaking sun. Like you got to be her freaking
what's an LTR?
Long-term relationship.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, marriage, cohabitation, whatever. Unlicensed state marriage, whatever you do. But for you to kick those benefits to her, you ain't gotta love her. Like she just has to provide some kind of value to you. And if she doesn't provide that value to her next, it doesn't matter how much she loves you, how much she needs you, move on to the next. Like as a man, as Snowman, you said it before, you kind of took my answer, like you've been listening to me. When you get older as a man, you realize that it ain't even worth it. Like for a woman, because I was saying this to SKC, when they develop that ick, they could be out. So you can't be sitting up there sweating that as a man. But if your resources and whatever you do in a man, if you that man for her, if you do it for her, you just got to keep doing what you're doing and keep that leverage of having that need and her love above her head. And if she fuck it up, cut her loose. That's simple.
Well, I mean, I don't argue like there's a perfect scenario there, because even within the context of mutual need, people are people. People make mistakes. People mess up. People are selfish. People get greedy. People just get bored. Sometimes you just want to see a nigga squirm. Women just have crazy thoughts in their head sometimes, But I'm just talking about the overall like stability of one versus the other. You kind of came in with a door C. We only have doors A and B here, but I think there's always like in a big enough pool of people, there's going to be a group of people who found another way. You feel me? And it doesn't harm the whole.
I'll tell you this: every single dude out here that took the L, they needed her, or they were crazy. They needed her, and they were crazy in love with her. You could be in love with a chick all day long, but you got to be able to walk away. Like it.
Well, look at the graphic right here on the screen, Trey. When you are in love versus when you love, right? You see how the in love puts the man in a supplicant position on his knees, whereas love is a little bit more of a mutual exchange. And that's kind of what I'm getting at. There's a difference to the two situations.
I think the bottom captions are inverted, but I'll go with that. Here's the thing, because Trey just made me think about this. What women think love is really like. They want to like you and call it love. Men's love, there's a great meme of a man holding an umbrella over his wife's head, even though he mean mugging. Like you want her to be all right, but you don't like her. Like it's hard to love and like at the same time, right? You don't necessarily like her all the time, but you love her.
I tell my son that all the time. I love you because I have to. I don't like you because I don't.
That sounds like the father from Fences.
I was about to say, yeah,
that was a great moment. Yeah,
the Fences speech. Yeah, the lights come on, there's food in the fridge. I love you. I don't have to like you. I'm not required to like you because for men, love is duty. For women, love is a fleeting emotion.
Yeah.
Because women don't have the ability or capacity to love. They think they love their kids, but I'll tell you this: as much as they love their kids, everybody raises their kid but them. The daycare, the school, after-school programs, mentors, but they love their kid. All right, cool.
You know what, Dirty? You kind of own to some, because for some fact, I think women want to be in like with you and they want to call it love, but with the love they want from you is infatuation, worship.
But that's it. But here's the thing, Mr. O. They have, in order for a woman to function properly, they have to love that dude, that guy. If not, bro, they would rather be sitting up here making TikTok videos complaining about spending $15 on gas.
But they
because
don't
here's the
have
thing.
But
Do they have to- no, hold on now, because do they have to love
Let
them
me
or do
say
they-
one more thing.
We all just interrupted. Hold on. Yeah, Trey, you just interrupted the panel. Guy, you finish it up, and then we're going to tell you why you're stupid.
Okay, here's the thing. I'm not kidding, y'all. That red bone, there's 50 niggas out there right now that would bend over backwards for that
51.
red bone that was complaining about $15 worth of gas.
51.
Tell me I'm
panel
lying.
right here.
No,
Yeah, tell me I'm lying.
She wasted a red bone. You're not lying. I said it.
Yeah,
I said
right.
I was lying, but like, yeah, she wasted a red bone. But here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. I don't want a girl to love me. I want a girl to treat me like she treats her employer. Come to me when you're mad. You still won't be 6 minutes late. Don't tell me I'll be ready in 15 minutes to take you an hour. You can't be 6 minutes late for your employer. He'll write you up. There's penalty there. I think that men in today's society are horrible patriarchs. I don't think you raise your toddler right. But culturally, people don't raise their toddler right. You know what I'm saying? It's a
Hey, I understand what Dirty. I understand what Dirty's saying here, because there was a point in time where my wife used to take a fucking hour just to eat a hamburger until I started getting up and leaving when I was done.
Nah, Dirty. I prefer a slave versus.
I'm just
employee,
saying.
I prefer.
Well, hold on.
I prefer slave like a motherfucker.
Talking. Now you're double talking. This is why we all kind of erupted when you said that thing a minute ago about her love. About her love. I've learned through experience that her love it feels good. You know, it's cute. She touches your back.
It feels warm and
nibbles
wet
on your earlobe and shit. Like, it's cute when she loves you, and I like that.
Yes,
I don't not want that. Right? That's not what I'm arguing for. I don't want you to take that off the table, but that's not what I really want from her. I expect that from her because she's a fucking girl. But what I really want is her to treat me with respect.
Well, I'll tell you
love
this, Hood.
is great, but love is nibbles on the earlobe.
I'll tell you this. Hold on. Let me respond to Hood, fellas, bro. I'll tell you this, Hood. And the Western woman, Strag, Beck, Maria, Ling Ling, all of them Western are no longer capable of love, bro. I know I'm generalizing, but I'm saying it's over 90%, bro.
Okay, fair enough. But this is why, and this is why. You know what? Yesterday I was getting on dude about wanting this pat on the head and all that, because ultimately there is no value in that, because that's not real love. That's literally how the whole thing came up about him getting a pat on the head. He was talking about he getting the love from the girls on the panel. I'm like, bro, you got a wife at like what love you getting here? And he was like, they love me. I'm like, no, nigga, that's a Scooby snack. You ain't getting no love. And then I turned into a pat on the head.
Dude, that ain't even a real Scooby snack. It's a fake Scooby snack.
That's
my whole point in bringing that up was to point out how you're after a pat on the head, and I'll talk shit till I get my respect. Like, you're gonna have to kick me out of here if I don't get my respect. Like, that's the shit I'm on.
Not only
you gotta pay $500 to remove him permanently.
not only do they want to pat on the
come
head.
to you right now. One second. You got it dirty.
Hold on, Hood. Not only does he want to pat on the head, he wants to pat without.
Rizzo, you covered up.
He wants to pat without coochie. Like the amount of people like, yo, like dirty folks, you wild, you bogus, you're a misogynist, but I'm fucking. You getting all the, oh my God, all the poetry slam snaps and all that shit. Like, oh yeah, tell dirty folks he wrong for saying, man, I need to fry chicken and suck dick and shut up. But you do. Like, and then you be like, but you're not fucking. Like, I'm fucking your wish list.
Dude,
like,
all them poetry slam bitches are all Antifa anyhow.
Look, here's the thing. Everything, because it's not about women that can't love anymore, Trey. Women can't trick you anymore. The simple tricks that grandma now is boomers, and boomer women are horrible.
No, grandma now is millennials and Gen X women.
Okay, so
shit,
our
we're
grandma,
about to be the grandpa.
I know. So our grandparents, right? The silent generation grandma, the tricks they told you. The way to a man's heart is through his stomach. Keep his stomach full, his balls empty. Like, they trying to tell you how to keep a man. You know what I'm saying? And they're like, I don't cook, I don't clean, I still got a ring. Like, bitch, no, that was the exact opposite of grandma told you to do.
Let me get Free Zone up here real quick. I'm gonna put the table. I'm gonna put the question to you. You're the last one on the table, and we're gonna just let it free roam after that. But this idea of men. First of all, there's the idea of men needing to be needed within the relationship, and then also bigger than that, the relationship itself has to be built on mutual need. Or in my argument, it's better if it's built on a mutual need versus this modern sense of romantic love, like they were just talking about up on the Lapeef panel.
No, I agree with you. I think the way you phrase it, mutual need is more essential. That's the foundation, and love is like the bonus that keeps everything. It keeps it going from a longevity standpoint. So, like mutual need. When I think of mutual need, because I was going to say mutual benefit, right? Because mutual benefit, realistically. Here's what I was going to come up to say.
Take your time, Pastor. Take your time.
Here's what I was going to come up to say. The thing that keeps relationships going long term is structure, rules, expectation, boundaries.
Really?
No. Let him cook.
Yes.
He's from his stove. Okay. It's his stove. It's his stove.
There's truth in that.
That's the foundation. That's the foundation, and then love is the bonus that's added to it that keeps it going. But you got to have the foundation first. Like you can do all this love shit all you want to, but if you don't have a stable structure, then all that love and all that stuff, it don't mean nothing. The end is inevitable.
I think love is mistaken with romance. But I'll say this: I believe that anybody can love anybody if time is invested. Just platonically, I got friends I got love for. We known each other 30 years. I'm like, I love you, bro.
Hold on.
We talking about Fleece Johnson kind of love, bro.
Platonic is a non-romantic type of love, and we're not even
that
talking
would, that
about
would be
Fleece.
platonic, not platonic.
Whatever. We know.
Fucking
racist cracker.
I know you're the one white guy trying to be racist tonight. We're not doing that tonight. That's yesterday.
No. Are you guys? Hold on, real quick. Are you guys disagreeing with what Freezone said? Because I think he was actually.
I do.
Correct.
I'm with
don't
structure
disagree,
and all
no.
that. I don't.
I'm about 40% with Free Zone, and I'll tell you why.
So give me the 60.
The 60 is this. As I said before, you could have that structure all day long, but she has to love you like a woman loving a piece of fried chicken in Alabama. Like she's gotta want to suck the skin off the bones, like figuratively, not literally. If Free Zone, you can put that structure in place all day long. If she ain't feeling, if she ain't rocking with you, she don't give a fuck.
No. I'm not going to argue against you. But I would say that is a different challenge, and that's a more internal to the relationship challenge. Like that is your role as a man. This is when they say, keep the shit spicy. You still have to be the man. You still got to smack her on the ass, and every now and then, you got to do the little things that make a woman look at a man like, I would suck his dick right now. Like you have to be the guy that she wants to blow at the drop of a hat. And as time goes on, it gets a little bit trickier, maybe because you start doing other things. You just start living life. But that's another thing in relationships with just what do they call it? Irreconcilable differences. That's legal talk for my wife. Stop fucking me.
Well, that's the mistake guys make of this same age marriage with the Zoomers and the younger millennials that want to date like, oh, I'm 30, she's 30. Let's come together after grad school. No, man. If you're 36, she better be under 25.
Trey, did you just tap my phone call, bro? When I was talking to my mentee, did you tap my call, bro? I just told him, I said, man, this is some modern shit for you to have your high school age bracket, 4 years age bracket thing. Like, I think the best relationship is, and I told him, I said, man, in black cities with liberal states, you can't be 16, but in most of America, the legal age is 16. Like 16-year-old girl and a 25-year-old guy with a job, and he's able to take care of it. Like, why is she getting pregnant by a 17-year-old? Like, let a young man.
I think that's practical, but it's too controversial for the modern world. Because you know how women look at a 27, 24-year-old relationship like he's a predator. Like, you should see how they talk online, bro. It's crazy.
It's just online, bro. That is online. They are not doing that in person.
I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying people don't want that conversation.
That's online with the same girls that was at Kenwood High School sleeping with R. Kelly in the 90s. We were there.
Those are the same girls that vote. That's kind of the grand point I'm making of it. Like, they say that, they do that, but then they punish you for it.
Well, hold on. I think we need to disregard all of that simply because that's just a tactic for shaming you for not dealing with washed up women. So I think it's mostly like it would mostly behoove us to just disregard that entire conversation about them saying 25, 27 is a predator. Like, that's just for them because they want for men to deal with washed up women. But I do find this ironic because my nephew actually has been indoctrinated, and he's 25, and I'm like, bro, you need to get you a fucking 19, 20-year-old right in college. Oh, that's too young. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about, bro?
No, you gotta slap him. Like, you gotta punch that nigga in the chest when he says.
I'm like, bro, what are you talking about, bro? Like, you sound wild right now.
American Pie really had, the whole MILF thing that started in American Pie going to 99 and 2000. See, they was trying to go ahead and start with after the Sex in the City fiasco. They needed a good landing spot for these for the back then the washed up boomer women. Once they manipulated them with the so-called strong independent lifestyle, that's when they had basically programmed the whole Western populace, especially the young males, with the American Pie. She's a mama I like to fuck. Unfortunately, that wave is ended now. It can only last about 20, 25 years. Now it's ended now.
No, but that's still.
Well, Mr. O, you know how you know it's a manipulation tactic? Do they say the same thing when it's a 35-year-old woman with a 24-year-old man?
There you go. It's always
they don't.
The thing, fellas. This is the thing. When I go out in the streets, honestly, and like, it is not like 30-year-old women trying to like smiling all of my face. Like, it's women in their 20s. I'm a whole 50 fucking years old, and women in their 20s, like epiphany phase, like that little Pastor Cock carousel epiphany phase, that is straight up like save me, straight up,
and as they should. Congratulations to you, sir, for doing.
No, I can't. No.
I ain't saying you gotta go.
Hey, look, my niece who's 26 years old just married someone who's the same age as me. And has
now trace back to the I don't want to be needed by the needy.
So Sugar Bum in the chat, which one is?
I'm sitting next to Mrs. MBD, my nigga. I'm trying to keep my life here.
Hey, God bless you, bro. Look, you always want to know you still got it. I ain't saying go, but just know you still got it. Congratulations, sir. You still want to know you still got it.
But it's going back to what Hood was saying, like what they say online, but what they do in person. And just like your niece, no man, she ain't crazy. Luckily she's been around you long enough. Maybe she's been around you long enough to see, okay, this is a man. I need to be around a real man. And these younger dudes, Free Zone, you're an anomaly, bro. For them young dudes around your age.
Guys, do me a favor. I want to take a station break here, do a little station business. Thank you to the lovely Miss Cantrell for the $9.99. She says, I love your shows, Hood. Thank you for that. I love your
You see, she changed her outfit again too, right?
I was just getting ready to say, look at that picture all of a sudden.
Oh, she be changing when you change clothes on social media, you's a bad mama jamma. Shout out to you, man.
I know she be doing her thing. We love you over here, Miss Cantrell.
Hey, I would say something, but that's your girlhood, so I ain't gonna comment. But yeah, good outfit.
Hey. Shout out to Clue Studios with the
I have yet to see her in a bad one.
Yeah, I know, right?
Like I said, happy belated birthday, Miss Cantrell. It was our birthday last week, so happy birthday to us.
Girls have it a little bit easier. They can just literally wear $10 rainbow dresses and be killing it for the day.
Hey, Cassie, a link real quick. It's on Instagram, man. You want to talk about something? I'm gonna put it in the back check, man. We got
put it in the back. We might get to it later. Put it in the back. But one last thing. Shout out to Clue with the $10 for the pen attacks, and then also shout out to my man Cafe as Bueno with the $2. So all those bears that got picked. Remember the bears? That was such a fun time.
Yeah,
ain't a bitch talking about a bear at all now.
I asked last night, did anyone get the bear side of all of this?
Man, the Bears in the manosphere now. The Bears are on the MGTOW shit.
Did anyone get the Bears side of all of this?
To be fair, bro, the quarterback for the Bears wears lipstick and fingernail polish, so I don't know.
Well, they can have that bear.
But
wrong Bears.
All right,
wrong Bears. I just want to hear from the Bears. I want to hear their experience and what they think about it. That's all.
No, Havoc had a comment I want to address, man.
Hold on, real quick. I'm just sorry because I'm just thinking about the Bears. Like, yo, she stole half my honey.
No, think about it. When a woman had
my picnic basket.
No, when a woman had a chance to be with a bear, right? She ate their porridge, messed up their beds, burglarized their house. She was a home invader, and then cursed them out and cried because they was like, "Yo, you came in my crib, ate my stuff, slept in my bed." Like they terrorized the bear.
Yo, that's a fact.
And she was.
I didn't think about that. You're right.
Goldilocks.
If she do that to the bear, what's she gonna do to you?
Yeah, that's a fact.
Hey, dude, maybe that's why Sasquatch be hiding all the time.
Bro.
I ain't make it up. Did I make it up? Am I lying? That's what she did. Look. I just want to. Having said, washed up women messed up their pair bond and can never pair bond with anyone. I would go a step further. I was having a conversation with my mentee about, right before I got on the show, on the panel. And I was talking about him being 26 and the girls I was nailing at 26, mothers, daughters, all that. And I'm like, yo, I'm at the age bracket. I hate to see used to be hot women, right? And I had all these lists of like Lisa Ray and all like used to be hot, but you still got that 1996 prom queen attitude, but you're not that anymore, right? And I gave my allegory.
Hey, hurry up with your side mission so this man can finish the rest of his money.
I make quick allegory. Make quick allegory. Every girl I know had the right dude in her 20s. Left that dude, got a not as good but similar dude in her late 20s, early 30s. Now they used to be hot 55, because I'm thinking about my sister's friends and shit. 55, and now you stuck with an alcoholic gambler. You know what I'm saying? Just trying to fix up this old 1989 Chevy Eldorado because you missed out on you had the dudes that were the everything you said dude's supposed to be, but he had rules and structure because that's how he got what he had, because he lived his life in such a way you couldn't fall in line because you was a hot girl. Like, I'm pretty, I can always upgrade, but you can't.
You know what, Dirty? That is really the biggest tragedy of like a lot of the modern women, and not all, but most, right? Just about every modern woman who is out here complaining about there are no men, where are the good men? I can't find a man. I can't find a man. I need a man. I'm alone. All of that stuff. Almost every single one of them has a guy in their past that would have been willing to sacrifice it all to keep them happy. But the problem is they would have never been happy with that guy, but that was the guy, and they just couldn't live up to the role. And so it's just this weird trap. And this is why a lot of guys right now, we're like, listen, I don't want to be needed by the needy. That's a trap for me. But that being said, I want to get back because we're going to wrap this up. We're almost to the 3-hour mark. We're going to wind this down.
I have a question. Wait. I'm going to ask you, Coach. Why don't you want to be needed by the? You know my thing. I want an illiterate girl, soap and water. Like I see the potential in her. If I put her in a bath, she might be somebody. Like put a $10 outfit on her and tell us it's Versace. Like, why don't you want a needy chick? Why do you want a girl that knows how to read?
No, I want her. I want her need to be based on the relationship we build, not based on a situation of her life. I'm not a circumstance wizard. I'm not trying to fix a bitch up.
All right, so hood, bro, get your passport, bro. Get your passport in the third world for real.
Can I just say something?
Leverage.
Can I just say
that leverage, bro? Real quick. You will never get that in the Western world at your age, hood. I'm sorry, bro. You're never gonna get that. You got to go third world at this point.
Yep. Can I just say something real quick, Dirty? My homie, right, the other day, I was in Myrtle Beach with him. And he was like, yo, you remember this chick? And I'm like, nah, bro, I don't remember. Right? Me and this guy's like 20 years in now. So you're asking me shit from like anything beyond 2 years ago, I'm not going to remember if it's not significant. And he's like, yeah, remember this chick? And I'm like, nah. And he just randomly drops, bro, she couldn't read. She was a good chick. Yeah. And I was just like, bro, you can't just drop that randomly. He was like, yeah, bro, she couldn't read, but she was a good chick. She did everything I said, this and that. And I'm just like, bro,
but then niggas be fucking it up too. That's a skills issue. But niggas don't really need a lot, bro.
You know what?
No, but it depends, man. It really depends, man. Because a lot of these dudes want to put their chick to work, and how depending upon what kind of work you want her to do, outside of cook, clean, and fuck, like how's she going? If you have a business and you want her to work for your business, how's she gonna do it if she can't read, bro? Like,
okay, so
that's the line, free zone. Look, the line is reading and writing.
It's on the register like they used to do at McDonald's, bro.
No. That's the line. Reading, No, hold on, fellas. This is. I wish Pablo Frescobar was here, because if you go overseas, remember that language barrier, and you got to test her over there to make sure she can read and write in her own language. But still, like the basics you want is reading, writing, and use a calculator. That is all. Anything more?
Third grade
anything more,
level.
you're in trouble.
I want a girl to read at a third. She don't have to read all the prescriptions on the ingredients on the prescription. She has to have a third grade basic reading level. Like I understand wanting to work with your girl. I made that mistake before, and I realize now girls can help you or they can fuck you, but they can't do both. The thing that makes women better than men, as far as relationships go, is that women are always competing for men. Men are competing for resources and respect and attention and adulation. Women are competing for men, right? So you can have one woman sleeping with 3 dudes and all 3 dudes is laughing like, "I remember that hit that." Like me and my nigga Tony be talking about Tiff, like, "Yo, remember you hit that." But women will compete for that man. As a matter of fact, if you have multiple women, you probably have a better understanding. So I can have my bottom girl, my head secretary, be the girl who can't read, and then I can sleep with the girl who does the taxes. But here's the thing: the girl that does the taxes, if she your main girl, she'll forget how to count next year. Just because she's sleeping with you, she'll try to manipulate the situation. You got to keep them competing, bro. Because
hey, to Dirty Folks' point, and I wanted to say this before you asked me the question, Hood. That's why these guys fight so hard for them Scooby snacks on panels. Because if you notice, like, you ever hear chicks ask the question, like, let's say you're the host of the channel and you have a panel full of women and they all respect you, right? When guys come up on the panel, what do the chicks say? Why can't you be more like the host? Why can't you be more like it's like this weird thing that keeps them insulated from outside what's the word? you scrutiny, you know what I mean? And that's why they want the Scooby snack.
Chris Rock,
because they want to take advantage of that women competing for men aspect.
But free, that's all things. You know how many women have told, how many people, boomer men too, but they just male feminists have told me, I wish that the guy I like had your qualities. Like, I like you. I like the fact you're smart. I like the way you're ambitious. I like what you're doing, but I don't like you as a person. I wish somebody I like did you. Right? It's like Patrice O'Neal saying they looking for a Patrice O'Neal type. Like, you could have Patrice O'Neal, but they don't want the baggage. They don't want the shit that make it.
We hit that when the Gulag hit them panels, like, you know, back in the day, it would be like, "Oh my God, you remind me of my uncle. You sound like my granddad. The advice they used to give me, boy, stop."
Yeah. You know what killed me about that whole interaction, and I noticed I started picking up on it when I was over on the Bracy Nigga channel, because it happened to just come out in a moment. I'm like, bro, like, you just don't like me talking to these chicks. I just realized you get aggravated when I talk to these chicks, because, like, I don't be really caring about it the way you care about it, but I noticed the frustration coming out of them, and then it occurred to me, like, oh, you want all the Scooby snacks, bro. My bad. I didn't realize I was stealing your Scooby snacks. My bad, bro. You got them. They yours.
You know what's so crazy about that, Scooby-Doo, my friend? Or you be Scrappy, I guess. You make the sandwiches. You know what's so crazy about that? All the Scooby snacks only want Scooby-Doo. Like, Chris Rock had the best line. He said, men see you with a good woman and they want a woman like yours.
Yep.
Women see you with a good man, they want that man.
That's a great place to stop it real quick. I wanted to get back to the season of need, I guess, is a way to call it. That's what we're going to call it over here in the church. This is the season of need, you know, because everybody's in need from time to time, and women right now appear to be approaching a season of need. You know, and she's a pretty big girl too.
She pay like she pretty big, guy. She pay like she weigh. She pay like
I don't know. We about to listen to
they
a
stopped
problem.
doing that a long time ago, though. Dirty. They got into the line with the ugly shit.
Yeah, that body positivity shit fucked that up. Pay like you weigh in, Mr. O stay.
I know somebody told me that they still paying though. I don't know. I haven't really tried it out.
As soon as you've done this clip, Hood.
See, you got to understand.
As soon as you've done this clip, Hood, I want to speak because I want to say something about the survival mode thing that I keep.
Well, get it off right now because I got.
I wanted to get in there too.
Survival mode, American Man, and then we're going to the clip. God damn it!
Damn, we can't get the clip yet. We just see the title.
Nah, he can play the clip, but
all right, we're gonna play the clip. Let the titties talk because they are kind of large. But she's a fat girl. You know, I think fat girls are supposed to have giant tits, but you know, it's weird when they don't.
I think that should be a
That's the devil at play when they don't.
Living in survival mode.
She cute for a big girl.
Tired
I
of
like
living in
her.
survival mode. Like,
no, she's
where
not.
does it end?
Dude, them lips will swallow your
expensive.
face.
People that don't.
That's
have no
why I
jobs,
like her.
Shut up, y'all. Let me hear this.
Let her talk. Let her talk.
All right, we're running this back. Niggas be thirsting over fat girls fucking up the show.
First of all, she got nice skin, but I think it's a filter. But no, she pretty big. Oh my God.
Go back and let the big bitch talk.
I know this look crazy.
Wait, run it back, Hood. Run it back.
She light skin, but she like she got Down syndrome, bro.
This is what I'm saying. Don't talk to me about this colorism shit because you don't even know these red bitches be hit too. Stop, man.
Hey, life is like a box of chocolate.
Looking like a low budget Ice Spice right there. But go ahead, play the clip.
Yo,
everybody take a deep breath. We got to continue.
I am tired of living in survival mode. I'm tired of living in survival mode. Like, where does it end? Life is just so expensive. People that don't have no jobs, like, and they are living life. Like, what are y'all doing? Put me on. My God. Everything is so expensive. Bills is just so expensive. You just get bill after bill after bill after bill after bill. Bills. Then rent high. Groceries high. You go in there and buy 5 things. That's about $200. Might be exaggerating a little bit. 150. But still.
How about 40?
Welcome to life, bitch.
Now, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing, right? Because I'm joking about the 40 ball, but not really. Because, like, because this is why the Nate thing. Because, you know, Nate was, you know, I'm in a bind, Nate. Everybody remembers that from Set It Off. Now, this is why it becomes such a pertinent thing and like a little cultural touchstone joke. Because as men, we kind of understand how it is for women that, you know, should be happening. You need whatever, you know. But, you know, as men at the same time, you know, you got to play hardball. You got to put something on the table. You want something, I want something. Now, the only other alternative for that is a man that would be willing to partner with you in life and help you make those ends meet, right? Now, here's the thing. That has nothing to do with a 40 ball at all, right? But in the modern world, would you actually appreciate that man? And this is what, like, this is why guys don't want to jump in as much anymore, because dudes are afraid of being in that position and it being for nothing. Like, you ever do something big for a chick and then she turn around and act like you don't exist? Like what have you done for me lately type shit? Like, dudes have seen enough of that. And so it's like, I don't know. You're just gonna have to work it out.
Yeah, let me
We're not gonna
let me jump in on this survival mode thing, right? Because I think that actually kind of rounds around to what Free Zone Lou was talking about. When you have structure and all of that, well, first of all, let me say this, right? Black culture, let's be honest, black women gatekeep that, and they sort of, them and their palm colored little hat overlords gatekeep what black culture is. At that point, right? Hold on, bro. Right. At that point, right? If you notice, do you ever hear black men complaining about survival mode? You notice it's only black women that talk about that.
No, I see these bitch
ass
niggas out here.
But it's mostly these niggas following black women.
I think the proper state of man is survival mode. Like, no matter, even if you
no, incorrect. Hold on, incorrect, right? Okay. What has happened is they've made being black a key component of being black is survival mode, right? I.e., I gotta constantly fight the white man. Everything is surviving the white man, living, struggling with the white man, all that stupidness.
That's not what I'm talking
Right.
about.
Well, but this is the point that I'm making, right? Is that survival mode thing is self-inflicted because it's a part of what they're deeming what it takes to be black in America.
Well, women gays and
And
fellas
so
do that.
no, it is. And so when you have structure and everything, you don't deal with that survival mode.
I agree with you. I'm just saying women, gays, and felons. Like when white people be like, I went to jail so many times, I'm blacker than you. I'm like, I don't think going to jail makes you black, but go rock out, knock out, my little trailer park friend. You know what I'm saying? I get what you're saying, and I believe it became a part of victimization.
But
became part of their identity.
To be black,
but that's why I was saying that love is only practical when it's attached to structure and responsibility and mutual benefit. That's what I was trying to say. I got a phone call, but that's the only time that it's really practical. On its own, it won't stand the test of time. My problem with the survival thing, and to all the guys that are waiting for the world to get into survival mode and all this stuff for women to act right, history actually debunks that entirely, because during the Great Depression, when motherfuckers was starving and all that shit, that actually accelerated feminism more because women needed to work and women needed to be in these positions. So I don't understand where they get this idea that when the world ends, women are just going to revert, because historically that hasn't been true.
Well, free zone. The thing is this, bro, is that if you're a guy who understands some dark psychology traits, now is the perfect time to be alive, because all these women up here, if you can come in and like scoop them up and have like a roster of them like dirty folks, and they would all be in love with you, but it would all be through manipulation. But that's headache.
But yeah, well, you know, girls are headaches anyway. One girl, 10 girls. But here's the thing. What they say, all women are crazy. You just got to find the level of crazy you can accept. But here's the.
As long as she's hot enough, you deal with her crazy.
Right. And as long as she's hot enough, the other girls will stay. They just won't stay if you find an ugly chick. They'll be like, oh, you sleep with her. Got to keep it consistently hotter. But because they always competing. But here's the thing. I agree with Free Zone way more than he believes, because women's nature is to be capricious. What women need is a program, right? That's part of the experience, is to have things like, because girls aren't really problem solvers. Women manipulate systems that men create, right? So if you give them a system, like, to be a caseworker is better than being a husband. If I were a caseworker and I could sleep with my little, you know, the people like landlords do, like, oh, you short on the rent, come on here and holler at Nate. That is
I got a perfect example of that. There was a girl during this whole EBT wave, when they were first cutting EBT. There was a girl, I played her videos on one of my streams, where her plug, the dude she was sleeping with too, worked at the EBT office. Like, that's basically what you're describing.
And that works. That's a case of dependency.
A
That's a
friend
case of
in
need.
need is a friend indeed, huh?
A friend in need. There you go. That's time tested, right? A friend in need is a friend indeed. There's a lot of people, a lot of men and women, a lot of people, because I got this from Jay-Z on that Jay-Z R. Kelly album we can't play because R. Kelly caught a case. When it was like, man, you never know how a person really feel about you when you got money and they don't, because they need you. You know, if we all got money. My whole thing is, I never want her to have money. Number one, because she can't count. What's she gonna do with money? It's a bunch of numerical digits. But second of all, this girl's
You know
too
that from
fat to
Pretty
be.
Tony, man. The school of Pretty Tony. You only gotta keep your 3 or 4s broke.
Man,
All my
hair
hoes
done
demonetized.
all that, but no dough. She get money, she liable to
You
go
heard me.
crazy.
All my hoes demonetized. But go ahead.
This girl right here, she a cute big girl, but the whole truth of the matter is, it's working women that makes life expensive. One salary could pay for America until women started working. So it's her fault. If she didn't have a job, she'd be able to be a housewife and fry all the chicken she wanted to fry. But bro, I forgot my third point. Y'all rock out. I have something else, but I forgot.
I want to get to the end of this clip real fast, and then I think I want to pull up that thing Snowman gave me, and we'll wind it down after that.
My man said she could fry the chicken.
On top of that, I got a puppy. I got a child.
She got a puppy and a child.
She got a what?
They
A
need
puppy
things.
and a child.
I want
Of course she
things.
does.
They want things.
Of course she does. Why does she have a puppy?
Facts.
Why ain't she
Wait,
selling
wait,
the
that's
box?
that look she hit you with when I'm in a bond, Nate. Look at it real quick. Right here. I'm in a bond, Nate.
Hey, Hood. That's
You
that.
going, Hood?
Hey, she got that look to sell or not sell the box.
Facts.
No,
Are you going, Hood?
No, you know what's so bad about that trade?
I'll
It's not
clap.
it's not to sell it, not because she's gonna use the box. Do I sell or do I donate the box? Because she's never not fucking. Do I sell or do I
Do I
donate?
sell or do I donate? I know, because donation is a different deal. And you know what? Speaking of donation, this is how things used to work before the government was everybody's daddy. People didn't just starve all the time. Like, I mean, hunger was hunger. We really did have hunger in America at one point in time. But before the government came along to just give people food, the church was the biggest, like, lender, not lender, what's the word? Donator, right?
Yeah, donator.
The provider. The church was the biggest provider of things in times of need. And so because it was coming from the church, there was a little bit of an expectation that you can't be a piece of shit and lean on the church too. So there was a moral kind of pressure that goes along with it. But let me stop for a minute here. Imperious, you've been asking for the link for 3 hours because the show is 3 hours long now, and you've been asking for it since I fired up. So I'm sure you have things on your chest you want to let go of. So now's the time, because we're going to wind it down soon. So you came
Can
right
you hear
back
me?
right on time.
How are you? Can you hear me? Or hear me all right?
Doing good. Your audio isn't great, but it's good enough.
I'm. Let me see. Hold on, I gotta. All right.
No, just keep
No,
going.
no,
Just
just
keep going.
rock out, rock out, knockout. Go ahead.
All right. You know, the male. I'm so sick of this fucking male. First of all, I'm really tired of the male-female discussion. Like, this is like, it's we gotta move on from this. Like, we're
never moving on. We're not.
Never.
But,
Never.
I know, but
ever.
The fact that nobody will move on is the fact why we're in the hands of women, is because in their minds, and they're sitting around talking, going, they're dogs. I mean, if we could just lift our leg up and show them some pussy, they'll do whatever we want. Who cares? And as long as that, and until we move past that paradigm as guys, like, until you're what do all these hero mythos, what do all these stories do? It shows that the hero has to go through a point where he loses everything and is willing to give up everything. Men will not give up pussy, and until they give up pussy, they will not win. And
You
so
brought that up last time we spoke. Real quick, I'm sorry. You brought that up last time we spoke, and I was aghast for a second, but you're not wrong. It's
he's correct.
Big deal. You have to be willing to leave the box on the table and walk away from the game.
He's correct.
I agree.
Shout
with that
out to
part.
Coach Greg Adams for that.
No, I agree with that part. But here's the thing, though. Then,
But many men have been saying that.
a lot of people, the Protect Your Seed movement, all that. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Rose before hoes.
I mean, my dad told me that when I was like 10 years old. He's like, dude, he's like, kid, look, women are gonna they're gonna manipulate you. They're gonna do what they want. You better look out for you.
I agree with that. And your dad tells you what God loves. Here's my thing. Why we're at a point now that shaming tactics only work on men. Like, people are trying to shame women back into some type of modesty instead of just out-fiving them. That's my suggestion. But men are being shamed. How many times have you not wanted to sleep with a girl? And they're like, oh, you must be gay. Like, how you gonna shame me into sleeping with you? You got me fucked up, sir.
Well, because you know what? It's such an inversion of the power dynamic from her perspective, because, like, sex is I call it a superpower, but it's not. But from a woman's perspective, it really is like a superpower.
Man, it's a bargaining chip. It's a bargain.
No. Most dudes are so weak that it's like kryptonite to Superman.
Yeah, it
This
literally
why,
is. It's like they
this is
drop
why
out of their
women
league.
are an asset in the espionage world. There are very
And
few
it's why
male
they
honey
have
pots.
the egos. It's why they everyone asks, how can these girls sit on YouTube and go, or on TikTok and go, when I date a man, you should not have a problem spending more than $10,000 on a date for me. Because you know what? You guys wanting that pussy so bad that she can negotiate at that level is the reason why. It's
And you know what,
it's like
Imperius, it's not even just the idea of the box, because everybody is driven by a sexual passion or whatever. But I think it's more than that. It's the idea that this woman with that box will love
will
me.
give everything her nature up for me
Yes,
because I'm
yes.
so
That,
good.
the blue pill
I'm so
dream
good
is
of a guy.
magnetic.
My money is so fucking good that she's gonna give up her very survival, which is trading her ass for resources, because my resources are so good. That's the
You know
male.
what else I noticed? You can actually listen to when a man talks, whether he's passed up box or not. Like you can tell the men that like just pass up box, like, I'm not interested. I'm good. I'm gonna move on. Versus the men who have to try and get every bit of it.
I agree.
Like all you gotta do is
Women
listen.
have the biological instinct to sniff that out in men. It's inverse. The amount of pussy that you try to get is inverse to the amount of pussy you will get. If you don't want it, if you're not looking for it, it'll come on your lap. That's why married men get more pussy than straight men.
No,
I tell y'all what.
Wait.
But
That's
how,
multiple
how, though, I'm
options.
curious though. How is it got sexless bedrooms though? I mean, that's kind of
Well,
like
You ain't gonna do it. You ain't gonna play the clip. You ain't gonna play the clip.
We'll get, gentlemen, please, one at a time. A lot of voices. Trey, you were trying to jump in there.
Well, I haven't spoken in a long time. I just
no, Imperious.
I want to respond.
If you want to wrap up, you can wrap up, Imperious. But Trey, you were trying to jump in there. So
Yeah, I was just trying to respond to Imperious. Like Imperious, you're on a panel of very diverse mindset, and understand. I've been telling guys for the longest. Kind of looked at what I was crazy at first, but except for dirty folks, having multiple options, i.e., multiple women, is the only way right now. Right now, that is the only way.
I agree with that.
That's it. The only way. Anything else,
just
you're
not
fighting
having
an uphill
any,
battle
having
right
a
now.
purpose beyond women.
No.
No.
Not
If you have a purpose
not
beyond
that,
women,
not
they
that.
find that. Okay, go ahead. Yes.
No. That's not. Okay, check this out. It's not about having a purpose beyond women, right? Because you should have your life mission, right? It is like an emperor has a whole bunch of concubines. He only sleeps with once a year. It's the fact that women only act right when they're competing. You're doing it for her, not for you. It's not a sexual thing. It's not like I want 3 girls so I can have menages every day. It's like I need you to talk to them, and then if you have something to say to me, put it in the suggestion box. I'll read it on Wednesday, and then we'll discuss it as a group. Like I don't need to talk to you, because anything you say with clothes on is not really gonna be pertinent anyway, unless it's business related. Women can't talk business, but if they try to
Put it in the suggestion box. We'll talk about it on
Yeah,
Wednesday.
Pervy, it's not a sexual thing, bro. It's that if you choose to get into a relationship right now, you don't have nothing legacy like a SKC or somebody. This is the way forward. If you already got something, then you're good. You're straight. But in the Western world, if you're going to go that route, no, this is the only way it works.
I think
give a girl middle management.
I think you're speaking from a perspective of one, you've kind of like had your children in life, so you're not really, and you're not at the point of life where investing in the nuclear family is worthy of your time and effort at this point. Like been there, done that, right? And then two, once you do get to a later age in life, different relationship arrangements kind of make more sense. I'm not even.
I recommend this to the younger guys,
it,
bro. No. I recommend this to the younger guys. Get you 2. All the younger guys I know going overseas, get you 2 or 3. Have kids with them all. Build you an empire down there.
Yeah. Well, that's a whole other thing. In the U.S., it's not practical. Not only that, I'm against it just on a principle that's not Western culture per se. So I don't necessarily think that's the prescription.
How is it not Western culture? Wait, how is it not Western culture, Hood? How is it not?
Because polygamy isn't quite Western culture. It's a thing that people do secretly, but it's not the way.
It's already being done, Hood.
It's being done. Married men have mistresses and their wives know, and they argue about it every Saturday.
Like I said, secretly. Yeah, we can stand for secret polygamy. We can't stand for national polygamy.
But it's still
okay. Because here's the thing,
very,
Hood.
very slim segment.
You worried about the dudes that ain't getting none,
please tell
but they ain't gonna get none anyway, bro.
Stop. Hold on for a second. Imperious, I think I know where you're about to go. Those who can are going to do it
very,
anyway.
very few men that can buy and support several women, dude.
Thank you.
Like you guys understand, like the women that I deal with, like cost a lot, dude. Like they're wanting, like, dude, women don't like when you get to a certain level, women like expect certain things just as like they are. Like they're used to a certain lifestyle, and they're not even like a lot of the women that you think
Why
about
are you
they're
dealing
not
with those
even in
women,
the
bro?
Right. And why do I
because
care
they're the
about her?
hottest pussy and they're the ones that have had the less dick.
It's
Like
no, it's
in
not.
the end,
Bro,
the
them
most
same hot chicks will fuck a broke dude in 5 minutes if she
no,
meets him at a
That's
club,
right.
bro.
this is
You
what I'm
say,
saying.
yo,
Like you guys,
a homeless dude, hey,
Bars.
yo, be quiet. A homeless dude right now could have a harem right now in the city of Atlanta,
this
New
is the
Jersey, and
belief right here,
Chicago. A harem, a
conservatives.
homeless dude.
This is the belief. This
I'm
is the
trying to
belief.
tell
This
you,
is literally
listen, money
Yeah.
does matter, bro. Money allows you options that you would have never considered of otherwise, bro.
But
It's
but
not just the
obviously,
money.
and it's
Here's
Take
the
away the
thing.
money.
You
Take
gotta
away
have
the
the
money.
frame as that
yo,
you gotta have
like
the
I
frame
can
as that
answer.
homeless dude that can have a harem. And that's
Wait.
no bullshit.
Wait,
Like just
Yeah,
the
yeah.
money
they can have
alone
a harem.
ain't
Frame
gonna
is
mean
one thing.
shit.
Frame is one thing, but Imperious, you were trying to answer. You were trying to speak. I'm
It's
sorry.
just
Imperious.
this just goes down to the ego of men because every man wants to believe they can fuck every woman.
Right.
No,
This is all just this
Imperious
is the
has the
problem. You
floor.
got,
Let him have it. Let him have it.
okay.
this is the issue. Like I know I'm never gonna be able to fuck Sydney Sweeney. Like would I want to? Sure. But I fuck pretty high at like up women, and you know what? Like I'm telling you from experience, those women are not like they're not even in the arenas that they would talk to some fucking like you guys think some bum ass black N word is going to be able to have that dude. If they walk up to those kind of women, those women are going to put a fucking a TRO on them.
Here's the
Like
thing.
you guys, this is
Here's
what
the
like they
thing,
don't. Like,
Imperious.
people believe
Those
that they're no,
women,
but they like people
those
don't
women
believe
go
there are.
slumming on the weekends,
Okay, yes, they all go slumming. This is
They go
the
slumming,
TV. This
bro.
is the whole fucking Desperate Housewives media. How much influence? This is the whole issue. Like CT brought up in the joke that he was making the other day on that show that black men sleep with white women. It's less than 2% of white women that marry black men. It's less than 8% of white women that marry out of their race. It's more than 20% of black.
We're talking women
No,
here.
but
Now
hold
you
on.
brought the
No,
race in.
what I'm talking.
You brought the race in, bro.
Okay,
I know what he's doing though. There is a class. No, there is a slight class
parallel to
race
what I'm
element.
talking
It's
about.
a class thing. It ain't a race thing. It's a class
No,
thing.
but that's part of it.
There are way more white women in the higher class, so there is a class race.
Like white women see black. Like,
no.
Do you think white women see black women anything other than pit bulls on a leash to make them act how they want to act?
I
Like,
agree.
because of their social status?
The weird race conversation comes into play.
No,
and we're
because
getting
this is all about
Hold on. Thank you, Imperious, for not even dropping a hard R. He literally said N-words, and I noted that it hasn't even gotten weird. I think he's making a solid point.
He is not making a solid point.
Hold on, let me say the whole thing.
Bro.
Let me say the whole thing. I think there is a solid point in that there are way more white women at the upper levels of economics. So there's a culture that they operate on that I don't know that everybody understands. So he's making his points in his experience.
Okay, hold on. Let me get this real quick.
I got you. I got you, Trey. I'm gonna take Trey point and I'm gonna knock this down. White women's wealth comes from men, so there's way more white men and women tag along. But Tyler's gonna tie to wherever Tyler's a soul. The fault with Trey's argument, I just understood it. Is Trey and I caught bodies like mass murderers? You may not be able to sleep with Sydney Sweeney, but me and my prime six packed up, I might be able to hit Sydney Sweeney. Like my confidence level is like I didn't hit R&B chicks. Like I think I could do it. Like I'm
But that's what I'm saying. That is the ego of the unintelligent.
No, it's not the ego.
People think they're a lot more capable.
No, hold up. Imperious. The ego of the unintelligent is thinking that this doesn't exist in the real world. When me and Dirty Folks have seen it in person, that this is what happens. This is what upper level white women do, bro. Upper level white women go slumming behind their husband's back, behind their family's back.
They go
that
to
is
Africa,
what they do.
Upper class white women go to Africa to find
Did you see how much porn has
let me
ruined
ask you
men's
guys.
lives?
Let me ask you guys a question. And this is a very porn thing, but
No,
let
this
me
is
ask you guys a
documented.
question.
This is
Let me
documented.
ask you guys a question. Right, in the grand totality of America, with the numbers being what they are in terms of demographics, do you really think every single white woman is out there slumming for every single black guy, or is it sort of a minority fetish?
It's not a black guy thing, bro. It's slumming, even for like a
Even slumming
redneck
outside
chick.
of the race.
Yeah.
Let's say outside of the race, because fucking a white guy
that's-
doesn't necessarily discount them, but
Yeah, that's a small percentage. I don't see what the problem is. It's a
right.
small
What are you guys
percentage.
fighting for?
Listen,
but this is what I'm saying,
interracial. Hold on. Interracial in general is a small percentage.
Thank you.
So
Okay, so we're
let's
getting into the
stop.
weird race shit real quick. So,
No, we're not
It's not
getting
even
into any
weird.
let me
race
respond to
thing.
the
What are you
weird race
guys
shit.
fighting about? It's not even weird. Most white women are just not having sex with a bunch of black dudes. It's an
Like, it's
obsession that
not
white guys
happening.
have,
Right.
and
So
it's a
here's the thing,
bravado.
Hood.
It's a
When
false bravado that black guys have, but it's a minority thing, bro.
But the whole
it's
thing
not
is
a
nobody
false
even talk.
bravado,
But
bro. It's
nobody even
this.
spoke race though. Even if you talk
It's imperious
socioeconomic,
racing. Then let me get
I'm
the
just
mic for
saying
a
it's
second.
not weird to bring it up in this context. Nobody got
I'm gonna
weird
tell you
yet.
why it is. I'm gonna tell you why it
Okay,
is.
okay.
Because you bring it up and then you give white women the pass on the same shit that we were talking about. Those Keisha's posting on the screen. All these uppity white women are going through the same
Oh
thing.
yeah.
They're
Oh
going through
yeah.
the same struggle. They're even worse feminists than these freaking black chicks you're showing on the panel. You'd be better off marrying one of these quiche than marrying one of these white women that Imperious is talking about.
Yeah,
Oh
They are going to
God.
make your life a holy hell, way worse than Keisha is.
yeah, and
So
Keisha
Okay.
got
bringing the
parenting
race
worse.
into it, that completely derails the conversation from where we were at.
It was a parallel.
Yeah, I don't know if it derails, but I want
How is it a
Imperious to speak.
parallel?
Hold
How
on,
is
I
it a
want
parallel?
Imperious to make his point because I don't know if it derails it, but Imperious, you have it.
Because it's a parallel. It's a paradigm that we just have somehow created in our head and accepted as fact instead
Nobody.
of looking in. Yeah.
Okay.
Like this is what I'm saying. Like we have these imaginary cognitive dissonances that are in our mind that we don't even realize that we just presuppose.
Like you just did,
That's
because nobody was talking about white women. You brought white women into the chat.
I'm
Nobody was
talking
talking about
about
white women.
class. I'm talking about that there's certain societal what would you call dividers.
So you think this topic is not going to apply to the higher class versus it's going to be worse? You know,
I think he's saying things are different in the higher class. Not
the guys in the
necessarily.
higher class are getting
This
fleeced
topic,
worse,
this
bro.
topic actually, hold on. This topic doesn't actually really apply to the higher class because you look at the higher class, they're actually married. Like I don't think I don't
Yeah.
like
And
like
they think that people are stepping outside of their marriage. Like, do you understand that?
hold on,
these
right?
state-
Right.
Go ahead. Sorry,
Hold
go ahead.
on. I don't think you guys understand, right? I do multi-million-dollar jobs, right? And when I do it for these higher class people, they're married people. These aren't a bunch of single people running around like I'm not doing jobs for a bunch of 10-figure black women like they want you to believe, or white women for that matter. They're all married people.
You know
And
what,
for the
American?
last 30 years, that's all I've been around is higher class, like anything but niggas.
This is not a contest, bro. This is not a
I know,
contest.
but I'm saying this.
This is not a
their lives.
contest.
But here's the thing, bro. Their lives are exactly the same. What you see in the front is just a facade, bro. What's
No,
going
hold on. Hold on. Here's the thing, right? Does the dude have a side chick? Might the chick get piped down once or twice? Sure, right? We've all been there. But what I'm saying is when you get to the higher class, these people are married and they don't have certain problems. And I just don't think you guys are willing to accept the reality of it all.
Nobody
Well,
even
bro,
was
why
talking
do
about
we
this.
see it?
Well, hold on.
okay.
This is a total
And
outlier.
it's not even a white thing, really.
Well, yeah,
Hold on,
let's start it. Hold on, let's start it from the beginning because in Imperious, I think you introduced this whole avenue of conversation by pointing out how like the white women at the upper classes they just expect a certain lifestyle.
Total outlier. Total outlier. Bill Gates.
But it's
so
not.
Bill Gates
look,
married and he rich, but his daughter rich too.
Women do things and they associate with what they feel can provide them with the easiest and most protected life possible.
That
It's
is
not
so
that
untrue.
hard.
That is so untrue. But
It
at
is true.
at
Why
some
else,
point
dude? Why do you think that their biggest complaint nowadays is they can't have kids because they don't believe there's enough money to ever afford having kids? Women want to have kids. The rich men have just convinced them that to have a kid, you got to be with someone that makes $1 million a year.
That's
So they're only
bullshit.
going
If
to
a
breed
woman
with
wants a kid, she'll drop a kid, bro. If a
No,
woman really
dude,
wants a
no,
kid, she'll drop one.
This is why third worlders are outbreeding us because they have a lower standard of belief in what.
Yeah, and they because this is what I'm saying. Yeah, it's they believe that these kind of women are just going to fall into your lap. Like this is like it's
Okay,
just,
so there's a problem, Imperious. Is this if there would a higher earning guy, that guy could just make 150 a year, high society, whatever you call it. She's gonna drop a kid for him if he's that dude. These women are doing the whole ring by spring, marrying high value guys that don't do it for them. basically that don't freaking, get their juices flowing. Whichever way you want to look at it, it doesn't happen. And she sees that guy as just a provider. And when she sees him as a provider, she ain't gonna want to drop a kid for him because she doesn't want to be burdened by that guy.
Do you know one thing I notice about the Western world that I often hear from a lot of young people? I gotta make all this amount of money to have a kid. Do you know what happens in that mindset? You could make 200,000, 300,000.
It'll never be enough.
Right, because your bills and everything will start to go up, and then you'll say, "Oh, see, I just can't have it to afford having a child." So yes, they have programmed these people to believe that you got to make 30 million to be able to afford a kid.
And if you're making that much, you ain't doing anything but working anyway, so you don't have time for a kid. You're gonna be too tired.
I just had a thought, guys. We're gonna wind this down in a second because we're well past the 3-hour mark. But something occurred to me. You guys remember that movie? I don't know if everybody's seen it. It's Kingdom of Heaven. Orlando Bloom.
Oh yeah, the Jerusalem one. Yeah.
Right. And so there's a moment, and it's amazing to me how we started this conversation talking about love versus need, and my whole theory was that men kind of want to be needed by women, and for some reason that just now it devolved into a weird argument about wealthy white women. I don't know how we just sort of devolved right here, but I think it really is. I think it really is a symbol of how important women are, and I was reminded of Kingdom of Heaven because there was a moment in the movie where I'm going to paraphrase for women's sake here. And there was a moment in the movie where he was like, how much are women worth? And he said nothing. And then he turned around and said everything. And because they were literally at holy war. And that's really the state of women. On the one hand, it's like theoretically women have zero value in terms of doing what it takes to build the things that needed to be built. But they have so much intrinsic value that nothing will get done without them.
But Hood, here's the problem: is that you don't really. Yeah. Here's the thing: you don't really like flourish as a man until you realize that that's completely bullshit. For the women have no intrinsic value whatsoever, minus giving you some pussy. That's it.
Bro, the fact that we all devolve into arguments over women constantly shuts you up.
I think I can end it for you right here whenever you're ready.
Prove me wrong, Hood.
I'll prove you. Look, a lot of
Imperious, you're gonna come up at the end.
A lot of greatest men.
Just let me know when you're ready. I'll end it for you on one.
A lot
saying.
of greatest men really didn't have like Napoleon Hill. A lot of great men really didn't sleep with their wives. They just had them as showpieces. But here's the thing. This is the argument I want to make. Y'all made it about white women, but let's keep it classism. There is no room that I can't walk in. And when I walk in the room, I'll be laughing. I'm like, yo, how y'all getting there? They be like, oh, man, dirty folks, man, welcome here. You got to be bred into this, man. You got to be part of the bourgeois. You got to know the right people. And I'll be laughing because I'm right here with you eating the free chicken. But, and y'all seen my new show intro, Dirty Politics. I'm with senators, congressmen, you know what I'm saying, leaders of the industry, captains of the industry, millionaire people. And I'm in the room with them. I'm at the millionaire mixers. And I'm not a millionaire. And I still get asked before I leave. Because Tyler's gonna title wherever Tyler's are sold. Bro. It's not that you're saying people don't have access to those rooms, and a lot of people don't. But if you get in that room, you still gonna fuck. So they still gonna do their thing. The room is created by men. Those millionaire rooms are created by men. When women have an opportunity to do things, they make it very female centric. Women's Expo, Black Women's Expo. When men have something that's inclusive, women show up to be around those men. So you still gonna fuck. There's never not a time I'm not gonna fuck. I went to the Debbie Does Dallas movie premiere in LA, and it was like, "Are you a producer? I'll fuck you on the dance floor." I've been to Mayor what's our gay ass mayor name, dog? Brandon Johnson. I ate chili with Brandon Johnson. I'm eating chili with Brandon Johnson, talking about, man, look, I need funding. Ain't got them.
I feel like a sentence that goes, "I ate chili with Brandon Johnson" needs a pause in it somewhere for some reason.
It was a chili taste off. I went there.
Right, taste off. It needs a pause.
Pause. Yeah, that is a pause. I made it worse.
Dude, that's even worse.
I made it worse.
You was eating
abort mission.
A chili glizzy with the Mayor Mohawk.
Man, you gotta live stream that next time, bro.
I got a short on it. Me and my boy Conto. I'm cracking jokes because he brought Zatarans to a chili cookout, so all the chili tastes the same. I got a short on it. But like, if you're in those rooms, you're gonna y'all act like women are something that can't be acquired. Their whole role is to be acquired. They're not to be kept. The difference between me saying that in my prime I could sleep with Sydney Sweeney versus I could marry Sydney Sweeney is a huge gap. I think I can fuck anybody. Whether I can keep them, maintain a relationship, finance their lifestyle, that's a totally different. Nah.
Yeah,
You
I don't
said
know
the
if that's
key
what we're
word there,
arguing
Dirty.
about. Yeah, let's
Dirty.
pass it on. Let's pass it on. I don't know if that's what we're arguing, but let's pass it on.
Well, you said the key word there, Dirty. Think. Go ahead. Whoever's next.
Bro,
Well,
look
now,
what Free Zone said up
you
there.
stepped in. Hold on, American man, you stepped in. You might as well own it right now because we're gonna wrap this up. So I want to.
No. I just wanted to say that the key word that you used was think.
All right.
But
You
my
spoke
body,
now. Forever hold your peace.
my body
We're
counts
gonna move
as-
this around. We're gonna move this around. Snowman, you're kind of next up in the lineup here, so I want to get some closing thoughts on Snowman. I want to end on Imperious. So I'm gonna let everybody else talk.
Nah, go ahead. This shit was wild, dude.
It really was an interesting show. You know, there's the show and then there's the panel. Sometimes I want to split it up into two different shows, but it won't be as smooth.
Nah, this is wild. That's all I got, man.
Thank you for that, Mr. O. What's going on, man? Walk us home, bro. What you got?
Oh man, I was gonna say, man, the current state of things, like you said, what song did you say earlier was the best love song? Hood.
Hathaway. What is love, baby? Don't hurt me anymore.
No. I have to one up you, sir. I believe the Mark Ronson "Return of the Mac" is the best love song ever made because it has the actual all the ingredients. He loved, he got hurted, and he built confidence and went back out there and said "Return of the Mac." I mean, that's a triumphant song.
I get you, but Mackin ain't love. He's a Mac now. Love is
But
dead.
he was in love.
That's
He
why
was
it's not
in
a
love.
love song. That's why it's not a love song because
that's
love
why
is
he's a
dead,
Mac
and now
now.
He
he's
was
a
still in
Mac.
love. No, he was in love, and he was still in love.
You
But he had
can't
to
you
go back.
can't Mac with love, bro. You got to kill love to Mac properly. Like any pimp would tell you, you can't pimp with love in your heart, bro.
But you got to love the Mac. No, you got love to pimp, but
No, you got to love the game, bro. That's not the same.
Yeah, love the game, bro.
I'm not even a pimp, and I know these things. What are we doing here? Come on.
That's me saying my mentee 26. He in the age bracket for love. Like I'm not in the age bracket for love because I've been there. I've been 20 before. My uncle told me the realest thing, and this goes to the socioeconomic scale too. But he was talking about physical.
Stop stealing the mic, Dirty. Go ahead, wrap it up.
All right,
You got
wrap
it.
it up. 12 years old. I'm 12 years old. My uncle told me two things on how to get girls. My grandmother told me one thing, and it was just be with the girl that want to be with you. Don't be with the girl you want to be with. That was great advice, Grandma. It was bad advice telling me not to date white women. But anyway, my uncle told me two things. Number one, he said, man, only talk to girls that's smiling. Never talk to a girl that's mad. Because you can keep a girl happy, but you can never make a girl happy. That was great. That's when I look at these dudes like, baby, why you ain't smiling? Smile for me, baby. I'd be like, oh, his game all the way fucked up. Yep. And the second thing he told me, he said, if ugly girls like you, then pretty girls like you. Pretty girls just ain't got to tell you. So if an ugly girl tell you look nice today, be like, thank you, and then holler at a pretty friend.
Same way with the older. I mean, if an older woman tell you that you look good, a younger woman know you look good. So
this is why I have the confidence to tell ugly girls no, because I know I can do better. Shout out to Trader MBD. What up, man? We about to wrap it up, bro. Let's close it out. What you got, man?
All right. As we've seen, it's crazy how this week is gone with that debate last Monday. But it's just a divide in this space. And I just see that a lot of guys, a lot of y'all younger dudes, y'all are still caught up on love. Y'all believe there's a love and a need from women. Like you got to have something from them or provide something for them. And that's where it's caught up. And until once you see the clarity that, Free Zone said, it devolved in a box because that's nothing what they are. And once you realize they're just box, okay, what else kind of value can they provide to me? And they have to meet a certain threshold. If they meet that threshold, okay, cool, keep them around. But a lot of guys, they don't want to just accept that because they're still going to search and find, I want love. I want what my grandfather had. I want this. But it just doesn't really exist.
You don't want what granddad had. No.
Yeah, it just doesn't exist. Because, hold up real quick, Dirty. Is that you put the women in the right box and you can live a long, happy life with them. But if you in that love and need part towards them, you need that from them. No, man, you're gonna catch an L real quick.
I don't want to manipulate.
Yes,
but
Miss
you just
Cantrell, they are Miss Cantrell.
You-
And the quickest I have to teach, and guess what? They have to learn. Well, thank God my oldest daughter realized that and used it to her advantage. Went on the offensive
Miss
because she listened to
Cantrell's
me
gonna
long
get some
enough.
of my anatomy.
There
Like I
you go.
said,
No, you already got sugar bum,
Right,
Imperious.
you're gonna have
You already
to
got a
take the
baby
purse
mama.
that you paid for, bro. You wanted that, you got
take
it.
the
There's no
purse that you
take
paid
backs, bro.
That's a bar. Take the purse that you paid for as a bar.
Listen, Imperious. I said you were gonna get the last thought
That's
before
a
I go.
bar
So
like a motherfucker.
now you're up. Now you're up. I'm gonna shut all these other people up. You got it, Imperious.
All right. Well, look, I think it's very simple. Men and women don't love the same way, and the problem is men put their type of love into women. Like they expect women to love men the way that men love women, just intrinsically like that. And that's not female love. Female love is conditional onto what you can provide for them. Male love is like self-sacrifice, honor, duty, loyalty. All those things are male concepts. They're not female concepts. And so I think men just don't see things the way that the reality is. Men have just as much or even more of an issue of seeing love and through goggles and the relationship of male and females in just as much of in a altered view as women do.
That's fact.
And I think men have a refusal to acknowledge that. We refuse to acknowledge that a woman is never going to actually love you like that. They're not like, if you are on a sick and you lose your job and she can't fucking survive with you, she's going to leave you while you're sick.
Yep.
Fucking Imperious.
It is what it is. That is
God
what they,
damn it.
No cuttings, no interruptions, no rebuttals. We're wrapping it up. Got Imperious. Take it on. Take it on, Imperious.
we need to just live in the real world. Nietzsche had this quote: "A real man wants two different things, danger and play. Therefore, he wants woman as the most dangerous plaything." And the more,
Carmen actually put that quote in the chat yesterday.
And the more beautiful the woman, just like in nature, the more beautiful the thing, the more dangerous,
it is. Yeah.
The more beautiful the thing, the more dangerous it is. I love that.
You know what, Trey? You know the Trey.
No.
I'm not about to go.
We have to go. We have to go.
I just want to say this to Trey. Trey spit facts, and Trey, I just want you to know, bro, that they don't know what to do after they get the girl. They want to acquire the girl, and then they want the girl to act how they want to act. They don't have a plan for them. They don't have a training process for their toddler, and that's a huge problem.
Let me finish after if I can, but
yeah, please wrap it up, Imperious. Please. You know these guys are classless heathens. We have
fucking animals in here.
I know, right? Jeez, good. You got it, bro.
I'm a heathen, but I got class. Goddamn it.
I'm just gonna say it's been a good panel actually. What I think in the end is men need to return to what men are. I think it has nothing to do with women. Women have been the same throughout eternity. It's that men have changed to try to accommodate women and believe that's the way to acquire a mate, when everything they're doing to try to bring down society, whether it bringing illegals in, whether it be domestic violence laws, whether it be all those things are shit tests to get men to respond in the crazy aggressive way to shut them down. And they will push men in a biological aspect to decipher out who are the A-type males who can control them and control their self-destructive instinct. Women, if they're honest with you, if you're a married man, your wife will tell you, thank you for controlling and making sure this is done. I can't sometimes handle things. Women are not meant to do all this and have all this pressure on them, or they can't even a lot of the times decide what they want to eat that night. Okay? And so it's all a facade, feminism, working, all that shit. The more a woman dives into that, the more deep down they want the complete opposite guy to take them out of it and reinforce their traditional biological role. Okay, that's all it is. That's why the most feminine women are the ones with the highest grape fantasies.
That's wild.
Hey, that's a good close.
Listen. You know, I put this on Twitter the other day. Pimps understand things about women that will scare you to death as a square. But thank you so much for
I
that,
got beef
bro.
though, man. Imperius just came up here and said what me and Dirty been saying for years, and you glazing him because he's a white man.
Hey,
No,
yeah,
you want to,
I want
hey, you want to, okay, I'll leave you with,
You go way too far. Let him have the last thought. Don't
hey,
go
hold
so
on. I'll give you, all right, I'll give you
Goddamn
something to
right.
leave it on. I'll give you something from a white man to leave it on. One of my fathers, Tom Likas. Stop fucking focusing on women when you're in your teens and 20s. Your future woman right now is 10 years old. Get your fucking head out of your ass and wait for her to get to 20, and then you can focus on them.
God, that
Well,
sounds like
look,
Dirty
listen,
and MBD.
Hey, I know, right? Didn't I just say, man, 25 years with
the
a
game is what it
16-year-old? I
is,
just said
man.
that. I
The
just said
game
that.
is what it is. You just got to be ready for it. But we got a lot of voices up here, and I had to kind of put a lid on this because I gotta
They
get out
think
here.
I'm a savage, man. They
We're,
act like
we're
I'm
gonna we're gonna come back. I got one because I've been off like yesterday. No, what today's Monday. See, I've been off all day today, and I don't have to go back to work until tomorrow afternoon. So I got a solid break, and I gave you guys a lot of content today. We're gonna wrap this up. We're gonna come back, probably do another show tomorrow, and then who knows what, because I gotta start driving again. So appreciate you guys for coming up to the show. Now I get to have closing thoughts. I'm gonna drop everybody from the panel right now. Thank you so much for coming up. Shout out to Imperius, Trader NBD, Mr. O, Angry Snowman. We had American Man up on the panel earlier. Thank you guys so much for coming up and filling out the show with me. Now, that being said, though, I want to close off with a couple of thoughts here. First of all, shout out to SKC, the Big Brother Coon. This is my homie right here. We haven't done a one-on-one. You know, we talk about this kind of thing one-on-one. The last time we had a conversation one-on-one, it was the love versus duty, I think is how I framed it. And it was a whole, it wasn't really connected to what we're talking about tonight directly, but loosely connected, right? That being said, I think you would be appreciative of the angle I took tonight. I see you typed in the chat, SKC loves and needs Mrs. SKC. And I think that's the appropriate model. My entire focus tonight was basically interdependence, right? You don't need each other as a man and a woman starting out from the beginning. The whole point of the relationship is to create the need within one another. I need her and she needs me to do these things. We do these things in cooperative fashion so that we can grow and develop together individually and as a unit. And the children grow and benefit from our mutual need. The fact that we are committed and respectful of our mutual need creates profit, is a very crass word for it, but excess, right? It creates benefits that our children can now thrive under. And that was my entire focus of the show. The idea of the modern relationships being purely romantically driven is why I did this show. There was a couple of conversations that came up where this topic came up, and not only did I have these conversations, I pulled up a couple of clips from the Lapeef Network that also had that same conversation about the modern romantic dynamic where women essentially expect that their relationship be built on romantic love more so than a mutual interdependence between the two of you. And I just don't think it's a functional way to go. It's not a way that we can actually build on going forward. And thank you, SKC, for the $10 super chat, by the way. Take our money, hood. You guys are hilarious. Thanks for making tea come out of the mistress's nose. The panel gonna do what the panel gonna do. I said this to somebody else in regards to a whole other conversation, but I don't apologize for content, right? The panel is what it is. The guys are funny, man. That's why we have them around. And then lastly, shout out to Chocolate Bunny. Let me address this really quickly. There was a clip about Tommy Sotomayor and apparently a white supremacist guy. And Chocolate Bunny, I will have you know, I have the clip on my phone playing now. And so now that we're shutting the show down, thank you so much for your 777. These weird numbers be coming up. It's an Apple Pay thing, I guess. She asked me, did I get a look at the clip of Tommy? And I'm doing my homework right now, Chocolate Bunny. You give me homework and I'm doing it. So I'm gonna shut this down, and I'm gonna get me some more food. You know, I made me some pasta, some salad. I'm gonna go back for a second pass over that. And I'm gonna listen to Tommy because you asked me to do that. So thank you to Chocolate Bunny. I'm gonna go do my homework and have me dinner. I'm gonna have me some supper right now, and we'll come back to that. Thank you so much for coming through tonight. Appreciate all of you guys for all of your continued support. You know, it occurs to me every now and then that I've been doing this for a couple of years, and a handful of you guys have been around for a couple of years, and I'm touched by that. I really am. But we're gonna get out of here. Thank you all so much for coming through tonight. Hit that like button. Like, share, and subscribe on your way out. Please, if you are not a member, please consider becoming a member of the Church of Misogyny. I'm thinking about kind of rolling out this idea of the Church of Misogyny a little bit harder. You know, once upon a time, we called ourselves the Gulag. You know, the Gulag is a place for political prisoners and such and whatnot. But lately, I think I'm liking the Church of Misogyny a little bit more as a flag to wave. I think we're going to lean into that a little bit harder going forward. So do me a favor, please consider becoming a member of the Church of Misogyny. You can tell I've been drinking since before the show started. I'm just about drunk now. But join the church. That's all I'm trying to tell you, goddammit.
Get it again. Okay, I'm going to say it again. I come in the name of Jesus. Repeat it after me, bitch. I come in the name of Jesus by the power of the Holy Spirit.
Oh, look at you, Chocolate Bunny. Stop instigating, Chocolate. Me and Carmen going to talk later. Oh, my goodness. We out of here, y'all. Have a good night, y'all. Thank you so much for coming out. Like, share, and subscribe. We are done.
Aspiring to be patriarchs like what white men have, that isn't freedom. That isn't going to help anybody. It's certainly not going to help black people.
It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done.